Hey guys, and welcome to 1Warrior Podcast. We have a show for you today. I have some amazing guests in this studio that you guys are going to love their story. I want to make sure you guys are rating this podcast, though, first off, because Spotify has this new rating system. Click on the three dots next to this when you're listening to it. Click Rate Podcast and give me a rating that you think this podcast deserves, preferably 4 or 5 stars, but you put what you want. Also, book is still on sale. My book is still on sale, still $20 till the end of February, or till the end of January, I guess I should say. And also, guest booking for this podcast is now open. We are looking for February guests. January is pretty much booked up, but February still has a lot of open spots. Email the podcast at onewarriorpodcast@gmail.com and put on there the program that you want to use to do this over, if you want to do it on phone or online, or even just coming to the studio if you're local. Any of those will work. Just put it in there. And also a topic that you would want to talk about, since we're not just going to take people bullshitting, basically, and wasting time. People having an actual goal to accomplish on this podcast. But with all that, let's welcome to the show, because we got a long podcast for you guys. You guys are going to enjoy this. Welcome to the show, Dawson Nichols and Kalib Ritter.
Howdy.
Hi.
Okay, you guys are a lot more louder and more talkative than that. Come on.
Okay.
All right.
So, your age. What are you guys' age? You guys are young. Very young.
18. I'm only 18 years old. Be 19 in a few days.
I'm 19. I'll
19.
be 20 in July.
So, these guys are under 20, and I've brought them on the podcast for a multitude of reasons. Because their age, they've made already they've hit lifts in the gym that most people would not even hit till their mid-20s. And these guys have hit their lifts in just a few years of training. It's pretty amazing, to be honest. So, what do you guys do for a living? Let's start out with that.
I own a automotive detail company with one of my best friends. We've been doing that about 7-8 months now.
You want to plug the company?
It is called K&J Auto Detail. We do mobile details, any of that. We have a Facebook group, same name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dawson?
I help with the window cleaning business. Wash windows. It's pretty cool. Been doing that for about a year and a half now.
What's the name of the business?
Clearview Window Cleaning, LLC.
All right. Cool. Good deal. So the next question I want to ask you guys is your iron cred, because people will listen to this podcast and think, oh, 2 18, 19-year-olds. What's the point of listening to these guys? It doesn't make sense. Your iron cred. What's your bench, squat, and deadlift, Dawson?
Bench 275. Just hit that today, actually.
And what's your weight?
189. I'm up 11 pounds. Squat 385, but I feel like I can definitely do a little bit more than that. I just keep trying 405, and
I'm telling you, 405 by February, I think.
Yeah.
I think you will.
Deadlift. I don't really deadlift, but when I did, it was 425, conventional.
Is there a reason you stopped deadlifting?
Like 9 months ago, I pulled a back muscle, and then deadlifting, and then ever since then, I just really haven't taken interest in. Kind of scared a little bit.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, the listeners know about my injuries. Anything gonna motivate you ever to come back to deadlift? Because I think you have potential for 500, 600 the way you are built.
The why is getting a deadlift platform. I think that's enough to bring me back.
It's game changing.
Yeah.
Okay, Kalib?
Right now I have a 255 bench, a 355 squat, and a 365 sumo deadlift.
But the interesting thing about your numbers, though, is you were once stronger than you are now.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in the story, because that's a fascinating thing, how you were a lot stronger than that. You were, but back. There's a reason for that, though, which we'll cover for. So, your guys' weight, you kind of talked about it. What's your weight again?
189.
189. And is that about your goal right now, or trying to put on?
My goal is to get to 195.
195, 200, okay.
Today I weighed in at 212 exactly. So,
and you were trying to lose weight, I think, right now, right?
Yeah,
You're on a little mini cut?
Yeah, I was almost 250 this time last January. So
that's pretty big weight loss there.
Yeah, about a year.
How much weight loss is that? Pounds?
Almost 40 pounds.
40 pounds in a year, and you've done it healthily too.
Yeah,
You've not crash dieted or used a bunch of cardio to basically, blow out your central nervous system.
I used to do I tried the OMAD diet, like 1 meal a day, and I did that for a few weeks, and then I just went to a conventional, just calorie deficit, just slowly losing the weight, getting leaner that way.
I can't wait to talk to you guys about diet because we all have different views on diet here on this. So that's going to be a pretty good thing to talk about. But with the topic of this podcast, I brought you guys on because I wanted a podcast to tell the listeners, when you're a beginner, you can basically look at weights and grow. But obviously, whenever you spend time doing something, you want to do something more optimal. You want to spend your time making the most optimal progress doing it. And one of the ways you can do that is having a proper system, a program. And I brought you guys on because you guys were both under my wing for a while and learned a bunch from me. And you took what I taught you and you maximized it into something completely different and blew my mind with what you guys have accomplished. So that's why I brought you guys on here, because that is the terms of being a warrior, is just blowing expectations away. I mean, that's just what it is. So with that all said, like, beginner gains are a real thing. You would agree, right? Being a beginner, you've noticed beginner gains. And you have too.
Yeah.
But you took off lifting for a while and came back to it.
Yeah.
Did you notice more beginner gains coming on back then?
So when I came back into lifting, it wasn't as fast as before.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't true beginner gains, but I moved faster than I should have.
Okay.
Like, I came back and was benching like 150, and I think a month later I was almost pushing 200.
Right. And the reason for that is muscle memory.
Yeah.
Whenever you get injured or take some time off lifting and come back to it, you usually put on twice as much at the same rate because of muscle memory. That's a real thing. So with that, your first 1 to 3 years, they're the most important. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys do in your first 1 to 3, like, to make you the most optimal you could do in the gym?
Not the best stuff. When I first started lifting, I just focused on just the 3 main lifts, didn't really do accessories, and now I can tell that accessories are my weak point.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to, like, build up what I should have already had built.
I would agree with that. I think your max lifts have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But I think you can expand on accessory stuff. I think you can get stronger on accessory stuff. From when you've trained with me, I've noticed that. What about you, Dawson?
Well, I would say my first year lifting really wasn't. I think I didn't maximize my beginner gains because I kind of messed around for the whole first year.
Right.
So I really just focused on moving weight, which was kind of ego.
Which majority of people do that. I mean,
yeah.
My beginner gains, I was benching and curling in my room with leg extensions, with my leg extension attachment on my bench. So I know what you mean when you say you just wasn't maximizing what your potential could have been over that. So the longer you train, the more harder it is to make gains. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
And you've probably already noticed that. I mean, you guys are going on 2 years of consecutive training now?
About
1 year. 1
year
consecutive.
2.5.
Okay. So you're kind of at that point where you're starting to learn the difference between beginner and intermediate. There's a stage there where you start to kind of just click into that intermediate stage. And you've noticed that.
Yeah, I have a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a small break, but when we come back, we're going to jump into both these guys' stories because these guys' stories are fantastic and you guys will definitely want to hear them. And we're back here with Dawson Ritter and Dawson Nichols and Kalib Ritter. So the next part of this podcast is what makes you guys warriors? I always like to ask my guests this question right off the bat. What makes you guys warriors?
Trying to push forward, doing your best, and not really taking no for an answer. Like, you always try to find a way to get past what's in your way.
Having that grind mentality, that stubborn mentality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I have one word, and it's your name. Sean.
Sean
is what makes me a warrior.
Sean, what makes... Okay, well, explain upon that. Expand on that.
Okay, what's the question again? Makes me a warrior.
Yeah, what makes you a warrior? You have had quite the history, I know. And I mean, a lot of setbacks in life and everything. And I know some of that can refer back. Question. Yeah.
I don't know, just not giving up, I guess. Just always having that drive to go in and do the best that you can, I guess. I'm not really sure on how to
the
answer
grind
it,
mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good answer. I mean, that's a prime answer. It's a normal answer. It's a good answer. Yeah. What's your guys' hobbies outside of lifting?
Outside of lifting, really big into video games.
I am too.
I absolutely love them. And then a lot of cars.
Okay.
Working on cars, cleaning them, just stuff like that.
Would you say your interest in video games got you into lifting?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because I always wanted to be built like Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
Oh, okay.
That used to be like the dream physique.
Right.
But I would say not at the same time, because that's kind of what got me away from lifting when I first started, was
Interesting.
being too obsessed with them. So I mean, I think you can go like happy medium.
Right. Exactly. And I have a similar story. I found a lot of fitness, my passion through video games, because I'd play games and I'd be like, these characters are complete badasses.
Yeah.
I wanted to morph my body into something like that. When I was younger, it was Dragon Ball Z. I grew up in the Dragon Ball Z era.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted to be like a Dragon Ball Z character. That be able to become Super Saiyan. So we thought the closest thing to that was to lift in the gym, get massive, or as big as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think video games can help people a lot of times because, and I write this in my book too, when I wrote my book, the first chapter is basically how games are very interesting. You can build your character out, customize your character, and by doing that, it kind of gives you a mentality for life. Then you can morph your character in life to that.
Yeah.
And for me, games motivated me to train more, actually.
Yeah, like the first little bit I was lifting, I was doing everything to try to look like him. Bigger arms, bigger shoulders, get broader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at what point did you realize you weren't going to look like him?
Well, when I had massive legs, that was the point that sort of set it off.
Did he have skinny legs? Oh.
Yeah, it was.
I don't even know who you're talking about. I've never seen him.
Super broad, small legs.
I'm trying to remember who that guy looks like. I'll have to look him up.
Yeah,
Because
it just looks like your average gym bro.
Okay.
It
Goes
just
hits arms every day.
hits arms, skips legs.
So basically, like what Chip's gonna be like.
Yeah.
Skipping
So-
leg
Yeah.
day.
What I did for the first 9 months.
Yeah.
I think what we all did for the first at least 9 months. I mean, I didn't squat till later on in high school. Hobbies. What are your hobbies, Dawson?
Lifting. I don't really have much out of sight. I play a little bit of video games like Call of Duty and some Rocket League.
Okay.
It's on my Xbox, not like a PC or anything. I'd say my job is a hobby just because I take such an interest in it.
That's good. Cleaning windows.
Yeah, it's really satisfying.
I worked at a window company. I mean, I helped customer service for Windows, and windows were kind of an interesting thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
I like to play basketball a lot with my buddies. Other than that,
You do a lot of sports on the side.
just basketball.
Yeah.
It's something I did in high school.
You were. What else did you do in high school? You just played basketball in high school?
Yeah, in high school I just played basketball, but in junior high I played a little bit of baseball, but
I see.
when I moved schools I just picked up basketball and that was it.
But you've always been into sports, though.
Yeah,
More
always been
into sports. Yeah.
more into
Okay.
sports.
I see. What's your biggest accomplishment you've had so far in life?
So far,
You guys are young. You guys are little
Yeah.
puppies.
I would say starting my business as soon as I did. I was fresh out of high school. I think making that jump to try to fully support yourself, I think that would be my biggest accomplishment.
And you are to a point where that business is now self-sustaining you, right?
Not fully yet. It's about 50-50.
50-50.
But
Now, is it a joint venture?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just your family.
no, yeah, we each have 50-50 ownership. But I think just in like the 7-8 months that we've had it, just how far we've come,
Okay.
I think that's my biggest accomplishment.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you jump out of the workforce and start working for yourself, I mean, I've done that too, and it's a pain.
For like
Some weeks you're eating canned tuna, and some weeks you're eating steak.
Yeah.
I mean, it differs. I mean, I went from working full-time jobs, 9 to 5s, having a stable income, to nowadays it's very unstable. Some months are great, some months are barely making it by, and it's a totally different mentality than working for somebody. Which is sometimes it's a fun mentality, that grind, because you might not make it. It's kind of a scary mentality.
You're like super busy, like 1-2 weeks in a row, then you have like 2 or 3 where you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
Like no one wants us right now.
Or you have to like just get your shit together because the paycheck is on you.
Yeah.
And it's not on somebody
you
else.
You actually have to be out there trying to grind and make the money, and it's not just, I just show up and get paid.
Bingo. Yeah, it's a totally different mentality working for yourself.
I didn't realize just how much work it actually was when I was sitting down with the lawyer and everything.
Mm-hmm. Now you do DoorDash too, right?
Trying to, but you can't make anything around here. We're just too small of an area.
Yeah, it is a small area around here. I mean, I've tried it a couple times, and you just don't bring in that much.
Yeah, unless you drive like hour and a half away, you aren't really making much money.
Right.
So.
But it's a nice little side income, though.
Yeah.
A little, money to go out on a Friday night or something like that.
Yeah.
Dawson, what's your biggest accomplishment in life?
I'd say not becoming like my parents and like being my own person.
Can you expand on that?
In what way?
Well, some people look up to your parents. Like for me, I look up to my parents. They were great role models.
I look anything to not be like them, and I'm good. I'd say I don't know. I do have role models like my grandparents. I aspire to be like my grandpa. He's a really hard worker, and
they're the ones that took you in, right?
Yeah. Like around when I was like 15 or so.
Yeah.
They took me in.
Wow. So we're going to take a small break. When we come back, we're actually going to jump into these guys' stories because this is going to be the meat of the podcast. These guys both have crazy stories. Dawson has more of life stories behind his, and Kalib, he has stories of being overweight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, very overweight. Just my before photos alone.
Right. The before, I post them on the Instagram, and I got comments saying this was a crazy transformation. I mean, people were amazed by that, and they asked what you did, and I honestly can't answer that. I don't know, so I'd love to hear this story today. So
keto diet.
Keto diet. Let's hope not. And we're back with, see if I can get this right, Dawson Nichols and Kalib Ritter.
Yep. It's actually Dawson Ritter.
Yeah, right. Don't confuse me like that. So we'll start with Kalib. Tell us your story of how you began lifting and all your details. This is the meat of the podcast. Take your time.
Do I go all the way back?
All the way back.
All the way back.
All the way back.
Came out the womb.
Came out the womb.
I just had to ask my mom this today when I was over there. I was always like a big, broad kid. I was always muscular.
Football player?
Used to be.
Okay.
Used to be football and wrestling.
I figured.
And in like late 5th grade, early 6th grade, I found like a cheap like $30 weight set we had in our attic.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just be like, hey, please just let me go up there just a little bit just to get it. And like middle of 6th grade year, I thought I was a badass for benching 45 pounds, doing all that.
I remember the first time I benched 95 pounds in high school. I was like, whoa, dude, I benched 95 pounds. I weighed 110. I was like Chip's weight.
Yeah, I was, just thought you were like top of the world, ego through the roof. And then I started going to the school field house and all that, and instantly humbled. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to wait till I'm a little bigger, and I'm going to come back to this.
You were humbled by the other lifters.
Yeah,
okay,
like the juniors, seniors in high school.
Oh, man, I remember those times. I was on the water polo team.
Yeah.
And when we would go into the lift, the upperclassmen were just these monsters.
Oh, yeah.
And it just was, like, humbling. Seeing them put on 2 plates right away, it's like, oh, I can't even bench a plate yet.
Yeah, and that was when, like, Brian had, like, their streak of going to state every year, so there were all these massive football players in there, and I was like, yeah, I can't even compare to any of these.
Sometimes it's good to be humbled, though, at a young age.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's some people that are not humbled, and they grow up with this ego that is crazy, and they will stop them from making progress, and their pride kills them.
I look back, and I'm glad I got humbled so young, so that way, I'm the person in the gym that you like. Not the ego lifter throwing up plates, being prideful.
Let me just say right now, if you're a prideful lifter, nobody likes you. It's the truth. You're the one in the gym that is wearing the short cutoffs and pouncing around like you own the place. Everybody's thinking down on you on that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I took you guys in, because you guys were humble. And I only train with humble people. I don't train with people that are cocky, people that are prideful. I don't put up with it. I'm a person that covers up when I train. I like to just focus on each muscle group and not focus on ego. Yeah. And you guys were just like me, and that's why I took you guys in.
We didn't really have a body to show off, so we can't really be
Right,
ego lifters.
Yeah, but I took like the break, like I think like 6th, 7th grade, and then I did like the school weights and conditioning. You just throw up weights.
Right.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And then sophomore year, I found out about powerlifting, and that's really when I got like my interest in it.
Sophomore in high school.
Sophomore, yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
so young for that.
I put on a lot of weight for it sophomore year. I went in maybe 215, 220.
220 as a sophomore.
As a sophomore.
I weighed 115 as a sophomore.
I was always a big dude. And then I put on like the end of the year, I put on like another 10, 15 pounds because of it.
And you were trying to.
Yeah,
this is an active accomplishment for you.
It was full on bulk, not the right way, just eating everything in sight, not tracking anything.
The seafood diet. That's how I refer to it. You see food, you eat the food.
But I was like 230 benching, 250 squatting, 425 and pulling 315.
As a sophomore in high school.
As a sophomore. And then I went to 4 County for health careers, and I started working at the nursing home, and I just dropped it. I just didn't have time for it.
So it was a time constraint.
Constraint, and then I got my first computer.
Oh.
So I was like, oh.
Porn.
Now, if you didn't hear that, porn was what Dawson just said.
I wouldn't say that, but I would say, like, just all the more stuff you can do. Like, just trying to branch out interests. But in reality, it was hurting me more than helping me. Because that's where I gained, like, the majority of my weight.
Okay, I see. Now, for me, internet was still a big thing when I was young. I'm a lot older than you guys. And we had instant messenger and stuff. But we had message boards like on bodybuilding.com.
Mm-hmm.
Bodybuilding.com, the early people, we'd get on after school and we'd put on there our workouts and find the other workouts, and we would do these workouts. They were titled like Titanic triceps and stuff like that. So we'd follow through with these, or bionic biceps was, I think, another one. These just crazy name things. Yeah. We just followed these programs. Did you have anything like that? Because by the time, you guys were in high school, 3 years ago, right?
A year ago?
Right, exactly.
Last year.
Right. So you guys had a lot more stuff online. Did that help you at all?
Yeah. Like when I first started lifting, it was Bradley Martin. Oh. That was when he was in like his prime for lifting and all that. So I watched.
A lot of people follow him.
Yeah.
Very big following.
I think he was one of the like early ones like that. I really like Martins Lisi's from the Strongmen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like him.
He's friends with Brian Shaw.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like him because he's like they're all massive, but he's like the smallest out of him.
Right.
And yeah, that was like one of his first years was like when I was crazy into lifting, and I just fell in love with him.
It was all motivational.
Yeah.
Okay. When you got a computer though, you said you lost motivation. Yeah,
because I just sat on my ass and would get off work and just play games and eat food.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, I thought...
Do you think it maybe was because you were training for powerlifting and you didn't have the athletic physique? Because sometimes motivation can come from the way you look.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Because, you see all these people online and they're shredded on a six-pack claiming natty. And
right.
Then you're over here and you're like, oh, I don't look like that, right. So I'm doing something wrong.
And that's one thing I was very happy about when I was your age and whatnot. There was no such thing as social media yet.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as Instagram or any of that. You posted pictures and you send them to your friends. There was no online social presence for that, other than like online message boards. And those people were always supportive to you on your goals. So it's just a very interesting way that you guys grow up in this social media. And I see it as totally different. To me, it looks like it's just a bunch of people putting up their progress like, oh, I'm better than you. And it's like a competitive thing nowadays, which never used to be. You guys are in a totally different time than I was.
100%. If it wasn't for like all those people like boasting and bragging on social media on that, I would have never taken a break.
See?
I would have found time.
That is why I think my age group has been able to stay with this stuff for so much longer, because I know people that I went to school with personally, and they are still lifting to this day.
Yeah.
But groups younger than me, I'd say about maybe 5-6 years, they fell off the wagon. They gained the freshman 15 pounds in college, got obsessed with drinking, maybe drugs, joined the workforce, and then they fell off lifting. And that's just the mentality they had. They grew up in a different time.
Yeah. Like right now, I think with just everyone's mindset and how everything's going, people just don't want to stick to something because it's hard or challenging, and they would rather just sit down and do what's comfortable. Right. And I fell into that.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
And instant peace or instant pleasure.
Not the 6-7 months of hard work to see a little bit of progress. It's just, I'm going to turn on my computer, play a game, and just like that, I'm happy.
Yeah. It's a lot of people are like that nowadays. Yeah. It's the kind of age we're in with video games.
Sadly.
It is. So that's the beginning of your story. But now you came back to lifting.
Yeah. Today's what, the 7th? And 4 days it'll be a year consecutively.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And that was weird because
How did you approach that?
So the summer before, my parents separated, and then I looked at myself and I was like, okay, what am I going to do to fix this or to help myself? So I was like, okay, I'm going to change myself. I'm going to get in the gym. And I said that since the summer. Mm-hmm. And then I was one of those New Year's resolution people, and I was part of the few that
that's
stuck
crazy.
With it.
You're a unicorn.
Yep.
And me and Taylor discussed this last week on the podcast, how people that make it their New Year's resolution usually last 3-4 months, and then they fall off back in their old ways.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not usually a fan of that, but you've just proven me wrong. You're a unicorn.
Yeah, I would say the first month and a half were the hardest developing the habit, because I would go at 5 a.m. before school.
Okay.
So there were some weeks where I was only going 2, maybe 3 times pushing it.
In the morning. I hate morning workouts. I think Dawson trained at 5 a.m. today. You're crazy.
No, I didn't. I trained at 12, but there was a time me and Aiden trained at 5 a.m. for 6 months.
And you got used to it though too.
We did get used to it, yeah.
Okay.
It was when I worked in a factory, so I kind of had to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're used to it, it's not bad, but going, because my school started later, so going from waking up at 7 to 5,
yeah,
it's terrible. And then on that, being in a diet, not knowing how to diet properly then. So you're basically
on top of that, more added stress.
You're basically just starving yourself until, you actually do the research and find out what you need. That was terrible.
So you starved yourself through some of this then? At the beginning?
Through some of it, yeah. Because, I wanted instant gratification.
Yep, like everybody else.
So I tried the 1 meal a day. I would have a small breakfast after my lifts.
Okay.
To get some carbs in me, so I wasn't, I was actually good and able to go through the day. And then I would eat all my food after work. And then that slowly developed into binge eating.
Oh.
So that...
Now, I have a couple clients that love the 1 meal a day. They swear by it. 1 or 2. I do 2 meals a day personally. I find it the perfect amount of food.
I like that, yeah.
I like it. It's spaced out nice. You eat pre-workout. If you have a desk job or an office job. This does not work for somebody that is working construction or labor. I recommend they eat about 4 times a day, 4 or 5 times a day. But for an office desk job, I found 2 meals a day is optimal for a good physique, a good superhero physique, I think, personally.
Yeah, when I was in the factory... when I quit the factory, I started doing 2 meals a day.
Okay.
When I wasn't doing as much active stuff, and that was perfect.
Yeah, a lot of people would be surprised if they tried that, how much they would like that.
Yeah,
with
you
an
get
inactive lifestyle.
a little bit bigger portions than doing spacing out more meals. So
I like feasting.
It feels like you're eating more food than you actually are.
Yep, exactly.
And I think that helps a lot.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, I couldn't do the 1 meal a day. I don't have that self-control.
Mm-hmm.
So
it turned into binge.
The people that do, I applaud them.
Yeah.
I tried it and I can't do it, but I wish I could.
Right. 1 meal a day is hard, though, I think, because if you can fall into that binge mentality, I think a lot easier.
Yeah, because you're
starving.
Oh, you're and I have all these calories.
I can eat the whole entire house.
You're telling me I have over 2,000 calories to eat?
Nachos, ice cream, pizza.
Yep.
You see this and you're like, oh, I can binge.
It turns into it's oh, that's only 1,500. You track it, and you're upwards of 3,000 already.
Right, and now you're already blowing your calories out of the water for the week.
Yep.
If you follow that on a consistent basis.
Yeah. So I didn't take like my diet seriously till I'd say like April, March. That's when I
Okay.
started making like the biggest changes.
What were the biggest changes you made?
Losing fat from my face. That was the first thing I noticed.
You
Like
did have a fat face.
yeah.
But okay, but what were the biggest changes you made to the diet though?
To the diet?
To the diet, yeah.
I actually did research. I started tracking my calories, my macros.
Mhm.
I did all of it. And I just sort of got a little harder on myself. Like I wasn't letting myself eat out of diet as much, eat like the bad food. It was my meal prep and my certain snacks.
Did you find that tracking kept you on track?
Yes.
Because I feel some people, they go to tracking and they fall off track because it's too much of a pain to track and it drives them crazy.
I liked it because I used my Fitness Pal.
Yep.
And
I did too in the early days.
Because like if I forget to track, it sends you a reminder.
Right.
And then you can make your own meals. So when I would meal prepped, I would just make my meal and I would just have to add that. I wouldn't have to search through lists of different ingredients. It was just all there and easy.
Did you track weeks ahead of time? Like
No.
for me, like every Sunday, I would make my meals and program it all into my Fitness Pal, and I'd leave like dinner open a few nights a week to go out,
Yeah.
or whatnot. But I would have it mainly programmed in, so I knew exactly that I was going to hit my goals by Friday.
I was weird because I did it as I ate.
Okay.
I'm one of those weird
I
people.
don't know how you did that, because that's crazy. I see people doing that. Like, I'm going to order this, and they're at the table checking out, and they're typing it all in. I'm like, how in the hell? I would just be, that's just so confusing to me, to be
It was
honest.
easy for me because then I didn't eat out. Like, if I went over to, like, my friends or something, it was meal prep container.
So you actually brought meal prep containers places.
Oh,
You
yeah.
didn't just try to order the healthiest thing out on the menu or pick the healthiest option in the situation presented to
in,
you.
like, the rare times I would go out, I would either order small portions or I just would just wait till we get home.
Wow.
But if we were, like, traveling to, say, like, my aunts or something, I would just bring meal prep
You
with
food
me.
prep. Yeah.
Just something easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah. Some people look at that as obsessive. I never thought so, but some people call that obsessive. You show up to a family gathering or an event or a friend's house, and they're like, "Why'd you bring food?" Like
discipline.
Exactly. We look at it as discipline, but other people look at us like we're crazy. That's a lot of people see this as.
I think people are crazy if they're gonna judge you for trying to better yourself.
I love that.
Like,
I love that.
You doing that in the long run is more about bettering yourself more than how people are gonna view you.
Mm-hmm.
So say people think you're crazy, but the next year you're gonna be peeled to the bone and they're gonna be 20 pounds heavier.
And they're gonna be coming to you and asking you then.
They're gonna be like, "Hey, how'd you do that?" Like, I had this with my aunt where she thought I was out of my mind for meal prepping, spending 2 hours every Sunday cooking, labeling it, measuring it.
Yeah.
And then she comes to me and says she's paying all this money for her own trainer, program, and everything. And she was like, "How'd you stick with it?" And
for one, I'm not dumping thousands of dollars to a trainer and stuff to do it for me.
I told her, I was like, you do your own research, you find what's going to work for you, your activity level, you find workouts that are going to be, I don't want to say easy for you, but you can get through the whole thing at first.
Things that people are motivated to.
Yeah.
I tell them, go to something you're motivated to, something you can continue to do, and make it just a habit. Because if you tell people to do things that they're not enjoying to do, they're going to fall off the way.
Like,
obviously.
I liked weights, so that's what I went back to.
Yep.
It's just, like, I think now it's simple, but I also have the mindset now where it's like, I got to get in and train, otherwise it feels weird.
Right. Talk about that mindset, because some people don't understand that mindset.
Like, it took 2 or 3 months to actually get like that, where I felt like I needed to train, and that was when I was training like 6 days a week.
Okay.
I would do every body part twice.
Okay.
Just to get, extra work in, extra calories burnt. And I had a weird split then. Like, I think I did legs on Monday.
Oh, that's it. I mean, train the weakest muscle or the one you're trying to progress the most at in the beginning of the week is not a bad idea.
Yeah. Like, I made huge gains on my squat then. Like,
yeah. I believe it because
Yeah.
you have the most energy at the beginning of the week. You take off the weekends or take off Sunday at least, you know.
Yeah.
You're refreshed Monday to go as long as you ate enough calories and had enough recovery.
Yeah, like I don't. It's like the mindset. For me, I saw enough progress in my body, and I knew I wanted to do everything in my power to not go back to that.
Right.
That I was like, okay, time to take shit seriously. You know, all the distractions need to go. Need to limit myself on everything, and I just gotta put my head down and grind.
Yeah.
There's no easy way around it. Some people have it, and some people they just don't.
They just don't have the grind mentality.
Yeah, it's just hard truth.
Mm-hmm.
You either have it or you don't, and that's probably one of the biggest deciding factors.
Do you think somebody can develop that though, with enough discipline?
I think
if they don't have it naturally.
Part of
people we train with are all very disciplined. I mean, even this really young 15-year-old
15,
Chip is 15. This 15-year-old we train with, he's one of the most driven individuals I have ever seen in the gym. This kid is crazy. I will get done with my workout and he'll still be going. He got there before me.
Yeah.
To work out.
I know.
He shows up an hour before you to work out.
He did that yesterday. I came in and trained back and he was there already. And he was still there when I left. I was like,
oh yeah.
And he was still doing shit.
I think with proper discipline, you can get part of it, but you'll never truly have it. You'll know what you have to do and you'll do it, but it'll only be for the hour and a half you're in the gym, you know? It won't be like your life.
Right.
You won't just put your head down and grind to do what you want. You're going to take the slower path.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, like I said, it's a mentality. You have to have that mentality. Do you guys do you traditional bulk?
No.
So okay, explain that.
Well, for me, it's different because I'm not trying to put on crazy size right now.
Mm-hmm. You're a pretty big guy. I mean, your shoulders are like the size of my head.
Yeah, I already have like the majority of the size I want.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm just trying to lean down.
Okay.
So for me personally, but if I were to bulk, yeah.
You would follow the traditional bulk.
Yeah.
What about all that Mexican that we eat?
Hey, don't talk about that. This is
3 times a week we go out to Mexican.
Okay.
And
I
feast.
I get like chicken and rice with veggies though.
What about all the chips and salsa and guac and?
We don't count that.
All right.
It's calories.
Yeah.
When you're bulking, any calories.
But he's not bulking. That's what I'm getting at. Is that he says he's not bulking, but we'll go to Mexican 3 times a week and feast until we can't.
But does he hit his calories though? He tracks his calories, right?
He's probably hitting. It's kind of.
Estimate.
Right now, though, I'm not cutting though. I'm more maintain. So I have those extra calories. So when we do go out, it's not hurting me as much. Like right now, I'm staying between like 209 to like 213.
You have a good calorie buffer in you.
Yeah,
Now you're doing cardio right now though too.
2 days a week. Yeah.
Okay.
You doing cardio?
2 days a week.
Yeah, he is doing cardio. I see him there at the gym when I'm getting ready to leave. He's doing 20 minutes. I'm doing abs and he's doing cardio.
Yeah, I've noticed differences. Like my core is getting a little more defined than it was just from maintaining. So I think when I go back on my bulk, that's gonna be like the final push that I need. Just seeing that change.
What's your goal lean down wise right now?
Like weight?
Yeah, weight wise.
And
body fat percentage too, if you had to guess.
Probably like 11-12%.
Oh my gosh!
Holy
shit, dude!
Dude,
I have never been that low in my life.
You look like Superman. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I think just one time I want to get that low, but I want to shoot for like 180, 190.
Oh my god!
So like what? Like 15, 16? No, you want 190 body.
Like 180, 190, give or take a few pounds. I just want to get to the Greek god physique just one time.
I'm telling you, 180 that's gonna be crazy. I think you'll be amazed with what you look like.
I'm not dead set on a number. I'm dead set on what I want to look like.
That's good.
I have the vision in my mind.
Right.
I just gotta get it.
You are like me. You use the mirror to determine your next goal and not the scale.
Like when I was in like the bulk of my weight loss, I would look in the mirror. Like I would pay attention to the scale, obviously, to make sure I'm not gaining. But I would look in the mirror and be like, okay, this week my arms have less fat, and I have 2 new veins.
Uh-huh.
And I'll be like, okay, I'm doing good.
More vascularity. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the loose skin that you might have in the end of it? Like, how are you gonna look at that? Like,
if I have a bunch, I'll probably look into the procedure to get it taken off.
You're not gonna use that as like more motivation, like to show what you've worked, like what you've done?
No, because I have all the stretch marks on like my arms and all of those. I think that for me will do enough. I just don't really want to put all that work and deal with the loose skin. I know some people use it as their reminder, but I mean, I have all the photos, the memories of people.
Yeah.
I think the stretch marks will be more than enough to keep me away from going back to there.
Right. Oh, I know if you did get that, you would maintain it. Just from your work mentality. And I've seen you train your drive.
I would not let myself get back to where I was.
Because there are some people that get, that kind of surgery, and then 3 months later, they're all back to putting on what they've just got paid for to taking off.
Yeah. The only thing I'm afraid, though, is like the recovery on that is brutal.
It is. It is.
Like, I've been doing like stuff about it online because I'm trying to lose it so slow that I won't, or I'll have like the very minimal.
You probably still will, though. I mean, you were a pretty big guy.
Yeah, but I think I'll probably end up going with the loose skin surgery, but it's just going to be so painful.
Yeah.
Especially after surgery. It's like 3 months of just pain.
Can you train during that time, or?
I think you can do light training.
Okay.
I haven't really looked in like the training aspect.
It'd be a good time to schedule a deload and eat low calorie. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the scariest part.
Yeah.
Losing the muscle that you already have.
Right. Yeah. But muscle memory is a real thing.
Yeah.
So you'll build it back quick. Yeah. Yep. I mean, you've done it twice already.
Yeah. That's I'm not worried about that.
Now, your squat right now is 355, right? You hit 355 this week.
Yep.
You squatted 425.
Yes.
I've always wanted to ask this question. How does 355 feel now, like, since you know what 425 feels? I can't even imagine what it feels to have 400 pounds on your back. I can't imagine what that feels like.
He knows what it feels
like. I know.
Dawson knows too.
Dawson knows what it feels like.
It doesn't feel as bad as you think.
Really?
Like, yeah, when I unrack 405, like, I'm like, okay, I have maybe like 315, 365 on my back. But once you hit the bottom,
that's when you notice.
That's when you're like, this is 405. What the heck am I doing? Like, that's when the weight doesn't hit you until the bottom.
Last week or maybe it was last week you attempted it. And you told me, and you sent me the video, and you went down, you came up a little bit, and then you went down and then came back up again. It was like you pulsated it. I think it's a mental thing.
I think
that you have not hit 405
I'm
yet.
mentally stuck at 405.
I do.
Same was with 225.
I know.
But when I hit 265 for a double, I was like, oh, okay, 275, I got in the bag. Right. And I walked into the gym today and I hit 275.
Yeah.
But I think mentally, I just need to hit 285 for a double.
Right.
And I feel like that'd help me out a lot. Or even just get closer, like a 295.
I was going to say 385 for a triple.
Because I'm making a jump.
Yeah.
A 20-pound jump. I'm skipping everything in between.
It's just like Garrett on bench. I had to have him do like 165 and then just go up by 5 till he could actually get
small jumps.
Get 185 consistently.
185 was easy for him too. Like he's consistently.
And now he consistently gets it.
He broke that mind.
And also use the 2.5s. Not be afraid of 2.5 plates.
2.5.
Some people hate the 2.5s.
I started using it on my heavy 3x3s on bench, and I went from a hard 3x3 with 225 to now I can do it with 235.
Yeah. Now, I've actually used fractional plates too in the past. I bought some a while back, and I have them in my room. I don't use them much anymore, but I used to use them when you could add fractional, even lower than 2.5 increments to kind of help you motivate yourself to help you try to progress.
You don't realize how big the smallest jumps actually are.
Right. Yeah. But back to I think if you hit 385 for 3, I think you could hit 405.
I definitely.
Because.
I don't know if I could hit 385 for 3 though.
Right. Not yet. But I think
I could definitely hit it for a double.
Yeah. I definitely.
For sure.
I
don't know. It's just. I want 405 bad. And I'm prepared until I hit the bottom, and I'm like, I'm not prepared for this.
But you literally came out of the bottom, came back down.
Well, that was the first time.
Came back
that was like that was the second time I tried it. I had dropped, and I was like, no, I'm not failing this. So I tried pushing it up again.
And you should have just kept driving.
Yeah.
I've seen you drive. I
sent you that video of me at Fountain City.
Yeah.
And it was to the point where like, if I would have like stayed and tried to grind it, I feel like I could barely broke that barrier to where I could have just stood up.
Exactly. You were right there. I mean, you were above parallel even when
Yeah.
you went back down,
Yeah.
which is the hardest part of the lift, to get yourself past parallel.
That's why I'm just doing pin squats, like you said, to help with that
Yep.
explosion, to help me get to that middle point. Because once you hit that middle point, it's easy just to
Oh, yeah.
stand up with it.
That's why I said if you can do 315 for 5 on a pin squat, you think you'd be amazed.
I hit 315 for 2 on a pin squat after already working up to 385 on
Yeah,
a regular
I know.
back squat.
That's awesome. If you get 5 like that, I'm gonna be crazy impressed. I mean,
that was crazy.
Caleb knows how painful pin squats are.
Oh, yeah.
Anderson squats. Some of our listeners may know Paul Anderson was the creator of them. But we use them a lot in our training because they're very, very beneficial. They're good on my spine too, is why I use them a lot of times. But now, Caleb, have you tried pin squats, Anderson squats ever?
Yeah, I did them with you one time.
Did you? Okay.
I think
Okay.
I got 275 for like 1 or 2, I think.
275 and your max squat's 355. So
Yeah.
you can see how you definitely can't hit nothing as heavy, but if you progress and are stronger with that movement, your accommodating resistance will translate over to your actual squat later on.
He could probably do more now, because at the time when he
It
did
was
that,
like
his max was like 335.
Oh, yeah.
330,
yeah, okay.
340.
And
So
that was,
it
that was
was-
still when he was in a cut, so
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I was
right.
still lower calories now.
you
And-
could see his chin from the back. The
Oh,
back angle.
right,
So like
right.
you
Yeah.
could tell that it was old Caleb, not new Caleb.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
then, not like you're now in maintenance calories. When you
Yeah,
hit 355 this week, you're on maintenance.
Maintenance, yeah.
I see. Okay.
That's
All
still
right.
great that you're going up on a maintenance though.
I know. It's awesome.
I'm feeling good.
It's more of like a recomp, you know.
Yeah.
When you're in maintenance, you can recomp your body and also maintain strength. It's like the sweet spot I tell people.
Yeah.
You get to that spot where you're just making continuous gains. The mirror is showing you look better, and the scale is moving in the right direction, and your energy feels good.
Yeah.
That's like the sweet spot.
This is probably the strongest I've felt since sophomore year. And
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad with where I'm at. I'm
Just having patience and
yeah.
enjoying the grind. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. All right, Dawson, your turn to tell your story.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Start from the beginning, man.
Well, like beginning of when I started lifting, right?
All the way back. Yep.
Okay, so
Maybe high school.
well, it wasn't really
any
that long
athletic-
ago.
You did some athletics too in high school. If you
Yeah.
can expand on that,
I did basketball in high school. We didn't really lift
Yeah.
or anything. Yeah, sorry, I leaned forward a little bit.
You're all good. You're good.
I don't know, after all of like my life problems, like when I moved in with my grandparents around like 15 or so, I kind of took my junior year and I kind of just chilled. But like I kind of seen people lifting, I was like, oh, I kind of want to maybe get into this sometime. And then senior year, like a quarter in this, right at the beginning of senior year actually, my buddy Jameson asked me to go to the gym because we had like the fire hall and striker. We had a little setup, kind of
Wow.
like you to have downstairs.
right.
But
Yeah, a little
we
small
have
home gym.
we have a little more.
Okay.
And so I started lifting with him a little bit, and I kind of just I realized that I couldn't lift at where I was at, so I was like 180, 182, like no muscle, just
Well,
like
I was
just
gonna
fat.
say you were
Just
skinny fat. You were skinny fat. What I like to call skinny fat, basically pudge,
Yeah.
skinny arms.
It was just, but I was 180 too, like 180.
right. It's
It didn't look like I weighed 182, but I weighed 182.
Yeah.
So then I realized I was like, okay, I need to like before I take lifting like super serious, I need to like lose some weight. So like he was doing the keto diet, and I did my own research, and I was like, that's not good. That's not healthy. Like it's to the point where he ate. I remember this day exactly. For dinner, he didn't eat anything up until dinner, and for dinner he ate one cheeseburger. So it was just a patty and a slice of cheese. That was the only thing he ate.
that's it all day.
That's it. That's the only thing he ate all day.
That's like 120 calories, maybe 200.
Yeah. It was. I was like, "What? You can't do that yourself." He's like, "Dude,
No.
I know what I'm doing."
He's a young kid too, right?
he
he was your friend.
He was 17 at the time,
That's messed up.
and I was. I think I just turned 17 the year prior, so I was almost 18.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not gonna do the keto diet, whatever. So I just did some research, and I was like, okay, calorie maintenance, subtract 500 calories for that. So I dropped, and then so I started lifting. I started lifting just like light, but at the same time, I was still like, I was kind of an ego lifter. Like my first starting off, I was like, oh wait, I just want to do weight.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You were at the Y, right?
That was my junior year,
Oh.
because I went with Dave for like 3 months
Okay.
to kind of like just to help me like get my legs stronger for basketball and just get faster.
I remember that when I first met you.
But I just had I had to drop it. Like I had too many life things going on. Like I couldn't keep my head straight, I guess.
Yeah.
So I had to quit basketball too. I quit basketball my junior year.
Wow. It was
bad.
It was you just quit because you wanted to lift or
No, I quit because of everything that was going on outside of school.
Oh, your life stuff. Your life stuff.
Like with my mom and my dad and all that stuff. So then I had to when I started lifting, I was like, 180, cut down to 142. And I was kind of ego lifting a little bit. So I really wouldn't say I used my beginner gains. I mean, I had beginner gains, but I didn't use it to its fullest potential. I feel like I could be, if I took it serious that first year, I could be way bigger than what I am now.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's a whole year of me just kind of messing around though. Obviously I wasn't messing around. I had the mindset that I need to lose weight and I need to improve myself. And so I was 142, and then I started going to the Y again.
Okay.
This was a year into lifting.
All right.
Started going to the Y. I was lifting with Aiden at 5 a.m. So I started doing that, and I was 142. And then I got up to 160 or so, and I found you.
Okay. You found Dave first. You trained with Dave before me.
Yeah, I trained with Dave my junior year, when I went for that 3 months.
Oh, okay.
I haven't trained with Dave since.
That was part of that. Okay, okay.
So I lifted for about a year with my buddy Jameson in Stryker after school, my senior year.
Okay.
And then that's when I also lost 30 pounds. I lost 30 pounds that year. And so then when I graduated, I started going to the Y, which was May-ish. I'm trying to think because I had the COVID thing. I was out of school for 5 months.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think I keep thinking that was summer, but really that was my school year.
Well, the COVID thing's fascinating because we came back from COVID to the Y and you were jacked as hell.
Yeah.
I saw Dawson. I was like, what the hell happened to Dawson over COVID?
I wasn't jacked. I was still small. I was small.
It's bigger than what I remember you from.
See,
I remember seeing you before COVID happened, and COVID was one of the greatest things that happened to your body.
You guys all think I'm big just because you saw me when I was small.
Yes.
You have made progress.
But in my head, I'm I'm still small.
You look like.
But you guys are oh, you're big.
Yeah.
You're way big. But if you guys didn't see me before and you guys saw me just now, you were just meeting me, you'd be oh, he's not that big.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say
that.
For
your body type.
I've seen a lot of different
size,
body types. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're almost 200 pounds, and how tall are you?
5'10".
5'10". See?
Yeah.
I mean, it's freaking badass.
But, yeah, so I did that first year of lifting. I lost that. Went from 180 to 142. And then that winter was my senior year. So that was when I was skinny my senior year. And then COVID happened, so we were out of school we got out of school spring break, I think. That's when I started going to the Y again. And lifted with Aiden, and this was the beginning of 2020.
You lifted during COVID, though. Explain that. How did you lift during COVID when the gym was closed?
I didn't lift every day, but my buddy Dylan his uncle has a bunch of stuff in his garage, so I'd drive out outside Ryan and I'd lift for a little bit, but I feel like...
What was your programming back then?
I really didn't have a program. I would just go. That's kind of what I regret now because I just went and I did the bare minimum. I was like, oh, I'm gonna work out, get a pump, I'm gonna take a picture, and I'm gonna leave. I was one of those guys. I was
systematic way.
That first year, I was I kind of just chased the pump.
But you made progress.
I did. I made progress, but I didn't make as much progress as I could have made.
Right. That's why I tell people beginners can look at weights and make progress.
Yeah. I could have made so much more progress than what I did, but I didn't. And started going to the Y. I lifted with Aiden. When I lifted with Aiden, the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
Well, beginning of 2020 till I lifted with you. Well, till
Dave.
No, I didn't lift with Dave. I lifted with Dave in my junior year.
Oh, and you didn't lift after COVID. You didn't lift with Dave at all.
I have not lifted with Dave since.
Okay.
So it was my junior year, which was way before COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been a long time since I've actually lifted with him.
Right.
But worked out with Aiden in the beginning of 2020 to towards the end, and that year we still didn't really do very much.
Yeah.
We still messed.
Aiden's pretty strong.
He was real strong. He was real bulky.
Yeah.
That time.
Yep.
And he was probably he was stronger than I was.
Yeah, he's strong for his size.
Yeah,
he's a monster.
130. Yeah. Can rep out 185.
But then he was 150.
Yeah.
And he was benching 205, and
right.
I was 142 just starting. I was skinny.
Yeah.
I was like tall, skinny kind of.
Bench 185.
175.
175. Okay.
And then 2020 was all right. I didn't really gain much weight. I got up to maybe like 150, 155.
Yeah.
And I was still lean.
Yeah.
I was still probably like, I was really lean. Like
you didn't go on a bulk for a long time. I mean,
No,
you stayed
I
lean for a
did
long
not go-
time.
So when
Yeah.
because I didn't know what a
started
bulk
hanging out with
was.
you.
Right.
Like I didn't know what anything was.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't on creatine. I wasn't on anything.
Yeah.
I was just.
I remember that when
I'm
I had
gonna
that
eat the bare minimum, and I'm
Yep.
gonna go to the gym.
Yeah.
Because I thought that if I don't eat, then I'm gonna look better.
Yeah.
Like I just chased my physique. I always wanted to look good.
You thought you ate less, you'd get leaner, and you just look
Yeah.
better like
But
that.
then I met Zach. Stopped lifting with Aiden. Then I met Zach. I also quit my factory job, so like that gave me a lot more time
Yep.
to actually focus on this.
Stress drop too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was the end of 2020,
Okay.
and
After COVID.
after COVID.
Okay.
So I got my time all messed up here because I've only been lifting for 2.5 years.
Right. That's about 3 years
I think I started the beginning of 2020. I have like I'd have to go find. I don't know. I can't.
the beginning of 2020, and I mean COVID.
The end of
the
2019,
gyms
beginning of
closed.
2020.
The gyms closed in March of 2020.
So then I started. Okay, so then I started. Yeah, I started the end of 2019 to the beginning of 2020.
Okay.
Because the first time I actually was at the Y was about December 2020.
Wow.
I mean 2019.
Okay.
December 2019. So that's when I really started. That's when I started lifting.
I remember the day you first trained with me. You were lifting with Dave at the time, and you said, "I think I'm going to squat today," and you joined me
pin
for a
squatted
squat
you, yeah.
session today.
That was
and,
the summer of 2020.
And I remember the first time you squatted. Your squat form was horrific.
Was that-
it was probably as worse as Chips when he first squatted his
Oh,
first time.
that-
I don't know.
that's
Chips
bad.
is,
Yeah, that was-
Chips is pretty bad.
That's
I mean,
a whole new level.
That's a whole new level of bad squat when you're first starting out. Chip's squat has gotten so much better since then. But Dawson, when he first squatted, I mean, I had to adjust his form and everything. Yeah. But it's just amazing. Now, the same kid that barely could squat a plate without falling back, falling over,
like everyone now,
is squatting 400 pounds now. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. In only 2 years of training.
That was the summer of 2020. That was my
okay.
17th birthday.
Okay.
Around then, the July, because I have videos of my first time squatting, my first time pin squatting, like my first video ever.
Can I see that real quick?
Yes.
I was gonna say from when I first started hanging out with you, like
it was
COVID time.
205.
You are like you
This
look
was
like
July.
your old self from now.
It's
Okay.
funny because I
oh,
thought
so
I was,
we were box squatting.
that's
that
the
day.
only box. That's the only thing we did because I
Right.
remember because Colin was there and he was
okay.
like, how come you never back squat? Like, why don't you ever back squat? Like, I
Right.
think about it now. I feel like my squat could be insane if I actually started back squatting. Like,
Yeah.
because there's a whole like year
that you didn't squat.
and yeah. Okay, so like this, I squatted. I started like I was doing legs with you,
Right.
but then earlier on, that's when I started lifting with Aiden at 5 a.m. So it was my time was all.
What was
messed
the
up.
biggest thing that's changed between those times? I mean, because your progress went through the roof.
My mindset.
Your mindset.
My mindset changed because
What was the driving factor in your mindset to make a mindset shift?
everything that was going on in my personal life.
You just wanted to use the gym as an outlet.
Like that's what got my mind off of things.
Okay.
And that's when like I was that was the main time that I was happy. I was with my friends and I was just
Yeah.
having a fun time.
Oh, the gym's the best time of the day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't wait to leave here, head to the gym, and like it's party time.
I'm excited for my new straps to come in, and I'm
Yeah.
excited for a heavy deadlift day.
You're probably gonna deadlift over 400 tonight. Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe 405.
Oh, if
Are
I
you
get
sumo deadlifting tonight?
sumo,
Okay.
sumo.
That's
If I
gonna
get
be
405 sumo, I'll
Oh.
finally be over 1,000-pound total. I'll be
Oh.
at 1,015.
1,015 total and not even 20 years old.
Not even 19.
Not even 19. Oh my god.
I gotta milk.
Technically.
I gotta milk
Yeah.
that as long as I can.
That I was gonna say, you guys, that's just crazy. That's
Yeah.
just crazy.
So I lost the weight the end of 2019, but I didn't really lift then because I knew I needed to lose weight and stuff. So
So you got lean before you really started lifting seriously.
I think when puberty actually started hitting me, I actually started losing a little bit of weight because like
Which is normal because
I wasn't
you grow
even
and everything.
I wasn't even done with puberty until after I graduated.
Well, your voice changed a
Yeah.
lot.
I still
Oh,
sound
yeah.
like a 14-year-old kid. But. So yeah, I started lifting in the beginning of 2020. I did lift in 2019 with Dave for like 3 months. I'm not really counting that.
Yeah.
So I didn't really do anything. I ended up quitting. had that mindset.
You made progress though. With
I did,
Dave.
a little bit.
You definitely did.
But then I lost.
Because when I
progress.
first saw you lifting with Dave, I was thinking because I saw other people lifting with Dave in the past year, so I was like, this kid's probably gonna last maybe a month.
Yeah.
You lasted way longer
3
than
months.
a month. Yeah,
like 3 months.
I was amazed though.
And then I lost all the progress because of
Yeah.
everything that happened. That's like when
Right.
my personal life spiked. Like everything happened,
Everything
just
fell
spiked.
apart. Yeah.
Everything was just going downhill. And then so I started lifting 2020, the beginning of 2020 to help with that. And then July 2020 is when I first like squatted with you.
Okay.
So then after that, at that time I was still around 142.
Wow.
I was skinny. Like
I knew you were light, but I didn't know you were under 150 at that time.
oh yeah, I was
wow.
like here. There's a picture of me.
There was a time I was heavier than you at one time.
Yeah,
Holy
like
shit.
I was super skinny.
For the listeners, I weigh about well, actually, I weighed the other day 158. So, I mean,
that was
it's
when I
just
met
crazy.
Garrett.
Dawson's almost 200 now. It's nuts.
He looks like he ate the old Dawson.
I know. That's what I
Yeah.
was going to say. It looks like you ate your old self. It's absolutely insane.
Because that's the Dawson I remember.
The skinny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's
that was
when
the
I
summer.
started hanging out with Dawson.
Me, you, and Garrett. That's when we all strived. And we
Yeah,
hung out
so
all
that's whenever you say that you don't think you look big.
Yeah.
that's why
the
I'm
Dawson
saying
I
you
think
guys
of.
think I look big because you guys
Right.
saw me when I was
Even
small.
if I didn't know you back then, though,
Yeah.
your
Even if I-
size,
Yeah.
the numbers you lift,
I'm going to think of it like this. If I went to the gym today and I just saw you come in for the first time ever, I'm going to say, yeah, that kid lifts. There's
Yeah.
no doubt
Fill
about
out
it. He's
all
got
your
big
shirts.
lats. He's got big traps. That's the first thing I look at.
Don't
see
talk
if
about
somebody
big
lifts.
lats. You talk to Caleb over here.
That's true. Caleb has
Yeah.
monster lats. But that's the first thing I usually look at to see if somebody's been lifting a while. Their lats and their traps, because that is
Those
something.
are the hardest to like.
But
I feel like
exactly.
those are the hardest to build.
Yeah, my
Exactly.
traps suck.
They're the hardest to build, and it shows dedication that somebody's been lifting a long time.
Yeah.
When I finally developed big lats and good traps, I was like, okay, I made it.
Yeah.
There was like a thing in there. So that's something I use to justify that. So if Dawson came to the gym tonight for the first time, I'd say he's been lifting probably 6 years, if I had to judge. 6 years, I would have said.
That's a long time.
From looking at you. Because I've lifted with a lot of people and know a lot of people and their progress, and I'd say 6 years of progress you've made in 2 years.
And it also helps that he fills out all his shirts now.
Right.
You look at the old
Yeah.
photos.
That picture that Aiden sent. That was when
That
we
were-
lifted during the summer of.
Yeah, where everything's all
All
baggy
bag,
on
like
them.
Chip right now. But
Yep.
he's making progress too. Chip is developing traps too, right
Yeah.
now. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's you notice these small changes, you start filling up your clothes, it helps you motivate you to come back to the gym to train harder. It's all just a combination of fit factors that keep you coming back.
So I lifted. So I started 2020. I met you for the first time in July
Okay.
2020, and then I took it serious. Then I lifted with occasionally Garrett, and it was more like
You jumped
it was more
around.
about myself.
Yeah, you did train a lot of solo time, but
That was more in 2021. I
Okay.
started training with like everyone. I like jump
Okay.
around from people to people,
Okay.
and I started lifting with Aiden in November. So that's when I started my job at the factory job, the third shift. So I didn't really have a life. So I trained at 6 a.m. every day, 5 a.m.
Stress probably went through the roof.
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. And you probably noticed defects in your physique at that
It
time.
was to the point where I didn't want to go lift.
Yeah.
I did that.
I believe that.
We did that until January. And January is when I really started noticing it because I started lifting with Colin the end of December of 2020, in the beginning of January, and then I met Zach.
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't meet Zach. I've known Zach all the time, but like he went to the Y as well. And we kind of clicked, met up.
Right.
Like I don't know, we joined forces, however you want to say it. But I started lifting with him, and that's when it really started kind of picking up. Like I actually started back squatting. So my max back squat was 255 on January 11th of 2021.
Wow.
I have a video right here. And
such good progress. I mean.
and then I was up to 275 by 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So
I know. I remember that. I remember the first time you made one of those giant jumps. I saw it. I was there at the gym. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's when I was really like, I need to eat more,
Uh-huh.
but I wasn't to the point where I'm like, this is my first for real bulk.
Uh-huh.
Like this is like, I did not expect it to go this well.
You've
I
been
did
doing
not.
great too. I remember when you first started. You've
Yeah.
been doing excellent.
But
You still got abs.
I do have abs. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And I'm up 11 pounds.
See, it's possible.
But,
there's tons of people that say, "Oh, I don't want to get fat." It's possible to bulk.
See, I was scared about that
You
too.
always,
But
you'll put on some.
I got to the
obviously.
point where I just had to accept it because I'm not going to get the physique I want if I don't
exactly.
do this.
That's what I try to drive into people's heads right there, and that's the hardest people
Like Garrett.
for things to understand. Garrett, exactly. I tell him all the time, he's got to eat. He's got to eat. I smack him when he says he wants to do cardio because
Or he wants to he doesn't want to put any fat on his abs.
Right. I mean, he's got to get rid of that mentality.
Uh-huh.
How old is Garrett?
19.
It's super young. That's just, you got to make use of those at young age.
Mhm.
That early 20s, man.
But 2021 is really like when I took like, so like all my like life problems outside of the school and the gym and everything happened when I was 16.
Okay.
But it's even with me living with my grandparents, it still continued to get worse. If that makes sense. Like I was living with my grandparents.
Was it because of the job you were working, the factory
No,
job?
it's like there was still issues going on with my dad and all that stuff. So like it was still, even living with my grandparents, it was still bothering me.
Okay.
And I moved in with my grandparents in 2020.
Okay.
2019, 2020. So then 2021 is like when it actually like started like hitting me. Like I was kind of like shock, as you can say. I was like, I didn't want to believe anything. When 2021 was like, oh, okay, this happened.
You kind of accepted it.
I accepted it, and I used that
your energy
in the gym.
Yep.
Like I kind of like, the gym helped me because I was like angry because of it, but it also helped my mind stay off. Like helped me
helped you channel it to a better place.
To somewhere better, and like to be. That's like really when I realized that I need to become. I don't want to become like my parents, and I need to become like someone different. And that's the whole story with my parents. This is just a long story, but
it's okay. I wanted to hear that story. It's an important part of your journey.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
because I had good parents. I don't know if that
I can't
imagine having bad parents. Like if I had bad parents, I don't know if I'd be a lifter. I don't know how that would affect me because I had fantastic parents. Yeah. I just can't imagine not having good parents. Yeah, that'd be hard.
Kind of lifting. Yeah, then I was just kind of just lifted.
Now, there is something I want to cover here real quick, though. A lot of people think you're on steroids.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, every day I wake up and I start with 250 milligrams of test. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to try not to laugh there and let Dawson keep going.
Well, I don't know. Like,
his D-ball cycle.
Everyone thought I was... I don't know. It's like... The whole Roid thing is recent too, like
very recent.
Very recent. It was this summer, I think. Not this summer. It was even more recent than that. Like this, like just me grinding so hard in 2021, and like me, it really started when I was like, okay, my 3 main lifts. I'm like, okay, my form needs work. So I like to work on my form, like my squat. You know my squat. It was terrible. The beginning,
you used to be a wide squatter, like me.
255 was my max.
Yeah.
And then it took me until I think I didn't hit 315 until, gosh, I don't even know. 315 was March 16th of 2021
of last year.
Of 2021.
And you're already at 405.
Yeah.
But
do you realize how crazy that is? 100 pounds on your squat, almost.
Oh, wait, no. April 10th was my first 315 attempt. Like, my first 315 got it.
Now, me and Caleb are looking at each other.
That's why I'm saying that people think that. Because, like... Okay, so I tried 315 on March 16th, 2021 with the wide stance. And I was like, okay, this is what I need to switch on. I'm not making any progress. So I switched to narrow stance. And 2 weeks later, I hit 315 easily. And I was like, okay.
Just with that one switch.
And then a month and a half later, I was up to 345.
Any breathing techniques differently or locking lats at that time? Or?
Oh, I didn't lock any. I didn't flex my lats at all that time.
Wow. So were you low bar or high bar?
I've low barred since I met you in July.
Okay, you stayed with low bar ever since then. Okay.
But yeah, 315 squat, April 10th.
I tend to change people from high bar to low bar, and I'm your brother, I think, right? The one other guy that lives there. I think I'm going to convert him to low bar too.
Oh, you better.
He has a good form and everything. I think he could be a lot more powerful in low bar though.
He just doesn't have the drive to want to get the numbers that high. That's his problem.
Okay, you gotta have the drive.
As soon as he gets past the mindset where he's not going to get super bulky and that it's not going to happen overnight, he'll be fine.
Super bulky. I love that when people say, "Oh, I don't want to get super bulky." Look at Steffi Cohen. Cohen. You know, she squats 405 for 10 and looks like a model. I mean,
oh my god! I saw that video and that was the weakest I've ever felt.
So yeah, I mean, whenever you see something like that, I send it to those people that say, "Oh, I don't want to get too bulky," because it's like she looks like a freaking badass with Dan Green and Mike O'Hearn and not bulky, strong as hell, looks fantastic.
Everyone thinks that crazy after 6 months they're gonna look like Ronnie Coleman in his prime.
I know,
like,
it's crazy. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah.
But people just think I'm on roids because my squat went from 255 to 385 in 9 months.
Now, how does it make you feel?
I don't. Okay, so I like. Obviously, I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
Yes, you should.
It's a huge compliment.
You should. Yep.
It's not like I like it as a compliment. It makes me feel. It gives me a little bit of a confidence boost.
Well, probably it should give a lot of confidence.
But I still don't. Still like the way I view myself is down here to where you guys view me. Like it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm annoyed. Like it gets annoying because I can't go to the gym without hearing it.
Right.
And like, I don't know. I made a couple posts about how it was super annoying and like I can't go work out without hearing it. And obviously it's a compliment. It's just you get tired of hearing it all the time.
Right, because it's your drive. It's you doing it. And then people are thinking, oh, he's just taking roids. He's taking the easy way out.
I made a couple posts about it and it kind of stopped.
Yeah.
People, at least they don't talk. At least I don't see them talking about it.
Yeah.
And they don't talk to me about it.
I haven't heard anything
they
about
might talk
it.
about it behind my back, but they can do that because I don't know that it's happening.
Right.
But that, I think the main thing is just they think of it. They think I am because my squat went up.
Yeah.
Oh, from 255 to 385 in 9 months.
Yeah.
And my arms grew pretty decent size. Because in January,
I
don't want to sound like a weirdo measuring my arms, but in January,
I always make fun of these guys for
my
that.
My arms were 12 and a half to 13 inches. And now my arms are 15 inches without a pump. So with the pump, it's like 16.
Wow. That's great progress.
So like 2 inches on my arms.
In 2 years. Not even 2 years.
Well, from January to December of 2021. That's when I made my most progress. So that's when I really noticed that the beginner gains were hitting me. Like,
are you sure your grandparents aren't slipping something in your food?
Yeah,
What's your steroid cycle, dude?
Yeah.
First, chicken.
Chicken. Yeah. See, Dawson's a chicken fan.
I love chicken.
Yeah, you eat a lot of canned
every
chicken.
day.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Something about it's just quick. I eat cans of chicken.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't taste bad.
It's
either.
not. Okay, so
it's just so low calorie though.
200. Well, it's like 200 something, 58 calories or something like that for 52 grams of protein.
Yeah.
That's okay. So I eat how many meals a day? Like 4.
Yeah, you eat 4 or 5.
4 or 5 meals.
That's what you told me last
Breakfast is kind of big. Breakfast is like almost 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
Probably like 60 or 70. My overnight oats.
Okay.
My overnight oats are pushing 800 calories with 54 grams of protein. And then I also eat a bagel with peanut butter and a banana on top.
Yep.
So I'm getting like a good 1,000 plus calories in the morning with like 90 grams of protein or something like that. And then lunch is like when me and my bosses like to just go spiel on Mexican food or Chipotle. And I mean, I can still keep track of my Chipotle because I have it all set up and everything. Yeah,
Chipotle is an easy one to track.
Yeah. And it's not really, my bowl is like 1,200 calories and 100 and something grams of protein.
Right.
So like usually I already get my protein intake goal by noon.
Yeah.
Like by lunchtime. And then dinner, I just eat. It's either we go out to Mexican and I feast, or my grandparents will make like, I think I like chicken so much is because my grandparents, because every meal's chicken.
Yeah.
Something to do with chicken.
It's cheap, you know.
It is.
It's cheap. It's good lean protein source. Yep.
And then I always have that meal at 10:30 at night. I'm like, I'm not really hungry, but I want my goals. I want to reach my goals, so I'm going to eat.
That drive mentality.
So I drink, I try to drink like 24 ounces of water, and then I eat a can of chicken, and then like a protein bar. When
I was younger, what I would do is I'd always every night make a giant omelet before bed. That was my go-to.
See, I'm just too lazy to do that because I just got out of bed from watching TikTok for 4 hours, so I just like...
I see, yeah.
And, I mean, half the time I don't eat dinner until like 8 o'clock, because that's when I get back from the gym.
Yeah, right around 7:30 or something. So
I eat a big dinner, and then I come... Then I lay in bed for 2 hours, and I get up and I go eat again.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like...
Do you guys utilize 10-minute walks after your meals?
No.
I use 10-minute walks. No.
Wow, you guys are missing out.
I don't know. Maybe I do, because after we eat, I always go to Walmart. So we're always walking around Walmart.
There you go. That works.
And when I work, we walk.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, it could be a game changer to your cut.
I mean, when
I do it year round.
when I finish eating, my cat wants to play. If that counts, little homie wants
it's not
to
like
play.
you're taking 10 steps. And little
I was
homie
gonna
just
say-
crawls over your neck.
Yeah, I mean, he does most of the moving, but
I mean,
I move my arms a little bit.
Yeah, all this is 10-minute walk, and you'll never regret it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's never a time you'll take a 10-minute walk and say, "Oh, I wish I wouldn't have walked 10 minutes."
It's just cold right now.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just
even
cold right now.
What I do is laps around my house here at night just to get the steps in. Yeah,
You do laps around your house?
yeah. After dinner, get a nice 10-minute walk in.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah.
Just get a treadmill.
I've thought about it.
Just for a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you could use it for more than
oh
just
yeah,
that.
no, but yeah. So, anything else you want to cover in your story?
Well, let's see. How we got into lifting, progressed so much. Just 2021 is when I strived the most, I guess. That's when I took advantage of my beginner gains.
Yep.
Everything before that, I was kind of just, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Did you ever have the phase where at home you bought a weight set and like a lot of people,
I
the
bought
cement weight sets?
COVID. Okay, during COVID, I did buy, because obviously I couldn't. COVID, I don't know, it kind of set me back a lot. I feel like I could still. I feel like you can say you could have had so much progress to anything, like any reason.
Oh yeah.
But like
for sure.
at that time, I was like, oh okay, I'm gonna chase the pump, get a picture.
Mhm.
I'm done. I'm leaving the gym. I'm in and out in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then so I bought a pull-up bar
Okay.
that I never used.
I would put it on my bathroom when I was
Uh,
younger, and that way every time I went to the bathroom, I had to do 10 pull-ups.
It's under my bed in a box. I haven't opened it.
I'm
That's
sure
a good
it's
place
doing,
for it.
it's doing a lot of use there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been there since COVID. I bought it and I didn't touch it.
Ah.
But around that time, I had so much money. I was like, I'm just gonna buy like
Pull-ups is something you could work on. That's
I
one
know.
thing that you could definitely work on.
I have gotten better. I'm able to do like 4 sets of
12?
10 to 12
Okay.
without the band.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
compared
real
to
good. Caleb's almost there too. You've been doing 4 sets of 8, right? 4 sets of 8
Like
or
5
something?
to 8, yeah.
5 to 8?
compared to when I hit back with you like
Right.
3 months ago, I did
Yeah.
6, and I'm like, I'm tired. I can't
I remember
do anymore.
that. The first time you were doing that, I was like, oh, come on, Dawson. You can do better than that.
Like you're big and you can't do pull-ups. Like what's going on? And then I bought like couple resistance bands.
Okay.
That I thought about bringing to the Y because
Yeah.
I don't use them.
Yeah.
It's like a one that goes up to like 60 pounds.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Huh.
It cost me like $30.
Try that on bench.
Yeah. Put 225 on it.
Yeah, right.
I'm benching 280 something.
At the top, yeah.
But when it comes to lifting, no, I just made all my progress really in 2021. So that's when I like took everything that outside of the gym, like my life and all that stuff. I kind of used it to help be someone that wasn't my parents, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right.
Do I traditional bulk?
Yeah, do traditional bulk.
What do you mean by traditional
So
bulk?
traditional bulk, a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to bulk in the winter. I'm going to cut in the summer. Do you do that?
Well, this is my first. I guess you can say yes because this is my first.
Right.
I've never really I've never bulked.
Yeah, and you
I
like
kinda
being
just-
like being lean in the summer because you went to the pool a lot and stuff.
Yeah, I gained weight really.
Yeah,
So like that year, skinny me 142.
Yeah.
That was
right.
I was like, dude, I don't want to lose. Like
Uh-huh.
I want to be this lean all the time because
I remember that.
the girls like lean bodies, whatever.
That ain't true at all.
Okay,
Not
it was
anymore.
true at that time.
I know some of the hottest girls and they're dating overweight dads.
200
They don't like
yeah,
super fat guys. They don't like super
Okay,
skinny guys.
But
Yeah,
I still
exactly.
got girls, so that's all that mattered to me.
Yeah,
I was like, okay,
right.
whatever. I'm lean. I'm gonna get girls.
So was that one of the reasons you started lifting? Was for girls?
No, I started lifting to get my mind off things,
Okay.
and because my buddy got me into it, and I was like, okay, this is like a really good thing to like helps relieve stress a little bit because like obviously you're using
Right.
a lot
You
of
got
energy.
into it for a very good reason.
A good reason, yeah. Like
What about you? I forgot to ask you that question. What got you into lifting?
Well,
you did.
yeah,
Listen,
like basically just after my parents split in like
Yeah.
the
So
summer.
this
He did-
same thing. You
yeah, we
wanted
did
to
same.
channel that. Basically.
Yeah,
The gym
yeah.
was an outlet.
Oh, and he wanted to be like the dude on Uncharted.
Oh
Yeah, like Nathan
right.
Drake,
Yep.
yeah.
Like me, video games. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
All right.
so yeah, this is like I never really I gained weight slowly over
And-
the time that I've lifted.
Yeah.
Like 2020, 2021. Yeah, I did. I gained a lot of weight that year.
Right.
Kind of.
Hey, and you got
I
the
did,
girl.
I
You got the
did.
girl too.
I got the
You're in a
girl,
good
too.
relationship.
In 2020, I probably gained. No, I didn't gain that much weight. I've gained more. I think I've gained more weight on this bulk than I gained the whole year of 2021. No, that's not true. That's not
Yeah.
true.
Probably not.
Because I went from 142 to 177. Not trying
Right.
to bulk. Like it just happened from me lifting. Like I gained.
Uh-huh.
I want to say it's 30 pounds of muscle because I was really lean when I was 177.
That's crazy. That's absolutely
Yeah.
mind blowing.
But
And I believe it. I mean,
which is weird because like, I don't know. My dad was like super skinny, so I didn't know I was gonna be able to like gain weight like that.
Was your mom bigger or?
She like if she wanted to lose weight, she had to try to lose weight.
Okay.
But yeah, I was really lean when I was.
So you got the mixed genetics in there.
Yeah, so I gained about 30 pounds not trying, just lifting, just taking lifting serious. Diet, I didn't really care what I ate. I just ate whatever.
Wow.
So I still gained 30 pounds of basically all muscle, because I was still lean.
Yeah.
I was still really
for sure.
lean.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started the bulk in October. Now I'm up
and you're
12 pounds.
And you're going to cut when you get to 195?
I don't know. Right now, I don't even need to cut.
No,
if I cut now, I'd say I would lose like 2 pounds.
Right. Last time you asked me, I said you were about 15-14% body fat.
It hasn't changed.
Has it
changed?
Look
the same.
Yeah.
But I'm up 3 more pounds since then.
I say keep going.
I'm gonna go until it's to the point where like like what you said is like once you reach around 7 to 18, you should cut
17, 18, depending on how your insulin sensitivity is. If I tell people if they can go out and devour a pizza and be still happy with the way they look the next 2 days, keep bulking. If they're to the point where when you eat a pizza and then 2 days you're like, oh shit, I think I'm getting a little bit fat, maybe that's time to do a mini cut or get into a cut. But if you can pound out a whole pizza and be fine in a couple days after that, your insulin sensitivity is still high.
So I think I can't.
And that's a good thing. Insulin sensitivity is the main driving force.
I feel like I can eat whatever I want, but at the same time, I think I can't because like.
Says Dawson, who orders 3 plates of food when we go out to eat.
That's different. I have to do that. Like I don't care. I'm just putting on weight. I can care. Yeah. I came to the realization if it's fat, I don't care. Yeah. I need to gain weight. Yep. I need to get the physique that I'm gonna get.
You're young.
But like, I can tell that I have weeks. Obviously, we all have weeks where we eat junk. Yeah. For a whole week. Oh. Yeah. And I realized that by the end of that week, I'm like, okay, I have more fat on me than I want.
Oh yeah, you do notice it.
I gain fat.
Yep. Yeah.
So like, I'd say right now, my bulk is more like, it's half and half.
Yeah.
I eat clean.
I don't like the word clean. Nobody on this podcast should say clean.
I eat good.
Okay, that's fine. Whole foods I like. There's no such thing as clean and dirty foods. Okay.
Good macros and everything.
Right.
Besides for when we go out.
Okay.
That's about it. That's the only time I really don't try to eat good.
Yeah.
Like when I'm at home, I'm like, okay, I track all the calories out, how much is each thing. Like I try to get the whole foods like mashed potatoes, chicken, rice, and the
bodybuilding foods, basic. Okay.
The eggs and stuff like that. And yeah. So I'd say it's half and half.
Okay.
I just kind of got lucky with this bulk.
And you're just going to keep this bulk going for now.
I think the only thing that's making me gain so much weight, like, I think it's muscle weight mostly.
I think so too. But I think Kalib agrees
Mexican,
here.
Yeah. Mexican.
Is that steroids? Is Mexican steroids?
Yeah. I'm telling you, because look.
Are they putting steroids in the food?
I might have to start eating more Mexican
Christmas time, right? I told you about a week and a half ago I lost 2 pounds. Yeah. I wasn't even trying to. Yeah. I thought I was eating enough.
Yeah.
I came to the realization I did not eat Mexican for 2 weeks. And I lost 2 pounds.
So it's the Mexican.
It's the Mexican. The Mexican is what's keeping me up. Getting the Mexican twice a week.
And that's also what's going to take your squat higher and higher.
I don't know. The only thing that's weird is like, what makes me think that I've gained nothing but fat on this bulk is that my bench went from 260 to 275.
Everybody has their better lifts though. And plus bench is hard. I mean,
yeah.
Think about it this way. You put 5 pounds on your squat, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You don't notice it. But on a bench, you notice 5 pounds.
Yes. So me being up this 12 pounds, my bench went up 15 pounds. So 260 to 275. Squat, it went from 265 to 385 and to whatever I hit in the future. Mm-hmm. And then I can't say deadlift because I don't know. But like when it comes to accessories, like I went from only being able to rep like the 80s on dumbbell flat bench for like 6 to getting the 100s for 4.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
His accessory work has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
That's something that I noticed personally with Dawson. He took what we were doing in my training sessions and his accessory work just went crazy.
I took what you were saying and I used that in my accessories. Like my main lifts, I figured those out on my own.
Yep.
I mean, you did help, but like with the low bar and stuff on squat. But like I kind of figured out. I'm like, okay, I need to do this.
Yep.
That's why I like getting videos because I can go back and I can look at every video. I can see what I'm doing wrong and what I need to fix and like what the problem for me not getting that was and like so that's when I started like narrow stance, tucking my lats. really like flexing my back before I even unrack the thing. Like
that makes a huge difference.
Like I make sure like it's tight before I unrack it.
We were teaching Garrett that this week. He didn't know how to do that, and we were trying to teach him how to do that.
You can hear in the videos like you're like, oh, well, good brace, not good brace, but like good like flex on the bar before I even unrack it. So then
try to pretend you're bending the bar on the back. That's what I tell people to do.
It makes it easier because I don't have to do it when the weight's already on my back.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So then I do that. Like I tuck the lats, narrow grip, narrow stance. I meant, and then just the bracing better, the breathing better.
Yep.
That I kind of figure all that on my own. But like you really helped me with like accessories.
Yeah.
Which I think with what you taught me, it helped my numbers go up a little bit, but it was more mass. I gained a lot more.
Yep.
Because like I lifted with you during 2020, the end of 2020 for like what? 3 months?
6 months. You lifted with me for 6 months.
6 months?
Yep, 6 months.
You and Chad?
Yep.
Was it really 6 months?
Yeah, it was really 6 months. I know it was.
It does not feel like it was 6 months. It was
6 months.
I split off from Zach for 6 months.
Yeah.
I felt like it was 3 months. But still.
No, it was 6 months. You trying to make
that
6 months.
Like those 6 months or whatever, like I noticed like that's when my arms went from 13 to 15 inches. And then when I was done with those 6 months, I went out and basically gave everything you taught me and gave it to Zach.
Yep.
And then me and him made even more progress. That's when his bench went from like 250 and now it's 285.
Zach's triceps have grown inches since he started taking on the techniques that I passed on to you
like,
and whatnot.
Me and him have both gained so much size from the things that...
And it's volume. I mean, it's the driving force. A lot of people don't understand
like, that. My big lifts, obviously, you helped me with those, but like when it... I feel like I basically took what you did to gain.
Yep.
It just, I don't know how to explain it. You gave me mass.
Right.
What you did, that's why my arms grew 2 inches last year. That's, I don't know. Yeah. That's about it. So.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about, you guys are getting into your third year lifting. Both of you, consecutively, I'd say close, possibly. Yeah. But there's a point where you realize you're in beginner phase and intermediate phase. We're going to talk about the struggles that you guys have come across in that. We're back, guys. So we're going to go right into this. You guys are approaching your third year of training. What are some obstacles, hurdles, things you've come across that make you just have struggles in the gym, not know how to progress or plateaus? Tell me about that.
Finally get into heavier weight. Like for me, like on bench, 225 and below, I felt like I could just add however many pounds I wanted, and it would be the easiest thing on earth. And then just going up 5 pounds after that.
You were stuck on the 5 pound increment gain. So you were thinking, a lot of people think they can do this. Oh, I'm going to bench this weight this week. Next week I'll add 5 pounds. Next week I'll add 5 pounds. And eventually I'll get to a 405 pound squat. Wouldn't it be awesome if that happened?
I wish.
It just doesn't happen like that though.
Yeah, when I finally realized that I was a point where I was like, okay, maybe I got to take the ego back a few steps, bust out some 2.5s, and just rep it out. That was when I realized, I was like, okay, this is where it actually gets challenging, and I actually have to put in the work. I can't just be there and do it and get the same gains.
Right.
That was like the hardest part for me, like with squat, bench.
Was there ever a mental thing like where you just didn't want to grab a 2.5? I know people are afraid to grab the 2.5s because they're afraid people will say, "Oh,
they're killer." 2.5s are killer.
There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, he's using 2.5s. He's a beginner lifter." Like
for a little bit, yeah. Because like when I was the fat kid, I wanted to, not like the weak fat kid. I didn't want to like bruise the ego I was building by just busting out a 2.5.
Yeah, you want to be the guy say plate quarter. Yep. I think we all want to be that guy.
Oh yeah.
Dawson is that guy.
Only on squat. I make 90-pound jumps on squat. Okay, I'm sorry.
I would kill myself if I did a 90-pound jump.
I mean, I have that problem like you're talking about, like, but only on bench.
Yeah,
But even then, I went from 225. I guess I did go by 5 pounds. So I went from 225 to 235. And then 235 to 245. 245 to 255. 255 to 265. So I guess I'm going 10 pounds.
Yeah, about 10, 15 pound increments, yeah.
Now that I'm up to, like, 260, I'm like, okay, I got to go 5 pounds. So I went 265 to 270.
And you hit 275 today.
Yeah, and I hit 275 today.
Yeah. And it was 270 before, right? 5 pound PR.
274, but I haven't hit that in
before the holidays, right?
Before my bulk.
I was gonna say
Not before my bulk. No.
I was gonna say,
no.
wait,
gonna
what?
say,
Beginning of my bulk. Beginning of my bulk.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, like ever since I started prioritizing chest, because I felt that was where I was really lacking. Like I felt like, I don't know, I felt like I just had a small chest, so I started prioritizing.
You've improved that a lot.
Yeah,
a lot, and you hit chest 2 times a week, I think. Right?
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
That's the only thing I hit 2 times a week now, and I think later down the road, next time I notice like, say like my legs start lacking, I think I'll start doing 2 leg days a week. Okay. Or if my back starts lacking, I'll probably swap some days, and so I can get back 2 days a week.
Back when I used to powerlift, I squatted 3 times a week. It was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
I'm not excited for that.
No, I was working a full-time job at that time too. I remember I'd get off work, I'd be like, what do I have programmed today? I looked at my set. Oh no, 3 sets of 3 at 90%. I'm dead. Some of those sessions sucked.
Yeah. I think for me, prioritizing it was probably the best thing I could do to get past where I was stuck. Because I started prioritizing it, and I went in a couple weeks like 245 to 255 now. And then now I'm trying to break that into 260, 265 hopefully. But
you hit 245 yesterday. I think that was
Yeah, that was my top set. Yeah. That was rough.
Yeah, and it was, I'd say, conservative max, so I think you could have got 250. Put the 2.5s on, I think 250 would have went up fine.
Yeah, I used way too much energy doing that, though, because I couldn't even do a 3x3 with
Well, you hit shoulders the day before.
Yeah, I screwed myself up this week because I wanted to deadlift with my straps.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good today.
That's
excited.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, but...
Did you have any dieting hurdles?
Yes.
Okay.
Still do.
Talk about that, because you were a bigger guy.
Yeah, diet is one thing that I think I will always struggle with coming from being a big dude. Because it's so easy to just slip back into your old habits, be like, oh, I'm going to just sit, watch this, and this.
Get the nachos.
Just
throw the pizza in the oven.
Yep. Just be like, oh, I'll only have like 2 or 3 slices, and then I'll be done. And then it's like, oh, damn it, the pizza's gone. And you're like, oh, might as well. Let's just make a bag of popcorn while we're at it. And
have some ice cream, too.
Yeah.
Can't finish the night without ice cream.
You're like, oh, this will just be the cheat day for the week. And then it turns into like a 2 or 3 day bender of doing that.
Yeah.
And I think I just got to like snap it into my head that I can't get what I want doing that. And that's still just the hardest thing. Like, I'd still, basically a year into it, still struggling with it.
Still? Wow.
I mean, I don't really have help on that because I'm like, Caleb, you want to go get Mexican?
Yeah.
3 times
Dawson
a week.
is the guy who will just be in the message, hey, let's go out to eat Mexican. Let's go out to eat Mexican.
Yeah.
Hey, this Friday, Chinese food after we...
Hey, I want jerseys.
Hey.
We're going to China. We got China something tonight.
Yeah.
China
Asian, I think it's called Asian Grill.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think so.
I don't know how Manny's going to do that because Manny's like one of the guys who's like, I'm gluten-free. I'm dairy-free. So we'll see how
he's gonna have to suck it up tonight.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I mean, it's cheap, $12 for like.
I was gonna say it's only $12 or $10.
I mean, the only thing I get there anyway is chicken.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah.
I get a little bit of rice and chicken.
I'm going beef.
They do have like white girl sushi there too.
Oh really?
Wow. They actually have sushi.
It's just
there.
California,
right? Yeah, it's nothing.
White girl sushi.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And I'm being a white
It's not
girl
sashimi or something like that.
No, it doesn't have any raw salmon or anything.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Ew, I cannot do the raw fish.
Oh, sashimi? Come
ever
on.
had-
Sashimi.
You ever
is
just had a
excellent.
piece of white tuna?
Oh.
Yeah,
It just melts in your mouth. Oh,
yep.
so good.
Yeah.
I went to like an actual sushi place in Fort Wayne, and I tried like the actual sushi where it was raw. And the texture, I just can't do it.
I'm
not a big fish guy as
I'm not either, but man, sushi, it's like, you can't pass up sushi.
I like the tuna, the salmon rolls, all that. I like
the
that.
white girl sushi.
Yeah.
You got your protein, you got your carbs, you got, just, your fats from the avocado. It's just,
There's a reason a lot of Asian people are ripped.
Hey, it's very well balanced.
Some white girl stuff actually slaps, and I'll be the first to say it.
Like an iced macchiato from Dunkin' Donuts.
Some white girl coffee is really good, and white girl sushi is very good.
I hate California rolls are good, but like, just imitation crab is just not. It's not really nutritional.
Yeah, it's kind of just blank. You know, it's imitation crab. What can
you
expect?
every roll tastes the same. I mean, but when you throw like salmon in there and the tuna in there. They
You
all
see, I
taste
like-
different.
Yeah.
At Ninja, it's they throw like caviar on top of that. I'll get
Sounds
into
like you're
that.
paying off the bill
I'm not a
for
huge
that.
fan of caviar.
Me neither.
I like it. It's
I don't mind it, but I'm not going to say, I'm going to order caviar.
You're not gonna go out of your way to get it.
Right.
But if someone else
No.
gives it to you, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
like
yeah,
I
for
wouldn't
sure.
go buy it. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
But like if it's there, I mean,
We should
Yeah.
probably get back on topic.
We should probably
Yeah,
get back
yeah.
on top. We can
We're
talk
just-
about food all night.
we're just describing how bad my diet problem is. But
That's because of me.
yeah, it's just one of those things where coming from being big, it's just easy and it's just easier to go back into how it was.
Do you have any tricks that help you get back on track once you fall off track? Because we all fall off track at times. I mean, it just happens. We're human.
I really just get in my head about it.
Uh-huh.
Like I'll beat myself up for a day or two, and then I just basically just put my head down.
Yeah.
Just realize what I have to do.
Yeah.
I make sure, like, I know you're not a fan of snacking, but I make sure I have like my good low cal, low carb stuff.
Whatever keeps you on track. Yep.
Yep. That way, when I'm watching a movie,
Oh, you have that to go back to.
Yep.
That's good. What are some of your favorite local snacks that you use?
Fiber One makes these really good bars. They're
Mhm.
like 70 calories a piece. They're low carb. I can't remember exactly.
I know, yeah, but they're the size of a
They're tiny.
credit card.
Right, yeah.
They're like
Tiny.
they're a couple inches big, but like
I used to eat the Fiber One brownies. Those were always good.
they're like a low calorie version
Yeah.
of that. And
Yep.
just when you're in a cut and you want something sweet,
Yep.
that's all you need.
Yeah.
Because at that point you can't get super sweet stuff. Because then
Mhm.
you're like, ooh,
It'll carry you off onto a
Yeah.
bad track.
That's when you just like the only thing I ever drink is zero sugar.
see,
sodas.
I'm
do.
just getting
Yeah,
into
that's
I
that.
take that
Yeah.
to advantage,
Yeah.
like
And
because they
some
satisfy
people-
all my cravings.
Yeah,
they
I-
fill me up.
A lot of my clients do too. They love that kind
You
of
see,
shit.
the
It's
diet
easy. It's
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
for my sweet tooth, the diet sodas don't do it for me. Because the past 18 years,
Zero sugar, not diet. Zero
well,
sugar.
a lot of diet zero sugar.
No,
too.
there's a whole different sweetener that makes it even sweeter. Because diet sodas have aspartame.
Yeah.
But zero sugars have aspartame and another one that starts with an A, but I forgot what it is. Makes
Well,
it taste even better.
when we got the
Spart, or I can't think of it either. I thought I had it.
Yeah,
for a
you
second.
know what we're talking. You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking
Yep.
about. Though.
Yeah. Yep.
like even like the zero sugar when we got like the Dr. Pepper, it still didn't do it. But like those,
Man, drank 8 of those.
yeah, I was thirsty. But those like the tiny Fiber One brownies,
Yep.
like because when I was on a cut for so long, I couldn't do super sweet stuff because then I was like, ooh, that just doesn't taste right. But it's like the perfect amount to where I'm like, okay,
Gets the craving.
yeah, I'm
When
good.
I'm in a cut, sometimes what I would do is I'd have some ice cream in my freezer, and I just take a couple bites of it just to satisfy my sweet tooth, and then I'd go brush my teeth for the night. I'd be satisfied.
Yeah, if I
It's
wanted,
a really good way to hit that craving.
I always went to Halo Top for their ice
Uh-huh.
cream because it's like 300 calories a
Yeah.
pint,
Yep.
and I would do that when I wanted ice cream
Uh,
and I didn't have like my bars. I would
Right.
just go eat like maybe a fourth or a half of that and be like, okay, I'm good for probably another month and a half, and just throw that back in the freezer.
huh. And it just kept you on track then.
You ever tried
Yeah.
like, popcorn at night? It's back when I was like I thought that I needed to not eat at night, even though I needed to eat.
Right.
I ate popcorn. It's like 300 calories, just plain popcorn.
Oh
A
yeah,
little bit of salt.
300
calories for like a huge bowl of popcorn. I mean, it fills you up quick.
yeah. Popcorn's a good snack for trying to stay in like a calorie deficit. But when I was in it, I tried to do like half to like 3/4 of my calories from like my main meals.
Okay.
I tried to basically structure like how I did when I ate what I wanted. Like half to 3/4 of my meals were my big meals. The rest, I love snacks.
Yeah.
So that's what I structured it
I
around.
tell people 80-20. 80 can be Whole Foods, or even in my
Yeah.
book I say 60-40. I make it because 60-40 is fine too, in my opinion.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I was happy if I was within my calories and I hit all my macros.
Yep.
I did that. I was like, okay,
Successful, mark it off, move on. Yep.
forget about the day. If I slipped up once or twice, so be it. I hit all my stuff.
Yep.
Go to bed, and tomorrow's a new
I
one.
mean, you can. Your body lets you slip up those couple days. Though.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that.
Once it's bad once it gets weeks on end.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people struggle
Yeah.
with. They fall off for
Yeah.
1 week and they get stuck in the work stuff and they get sidetracked, and then continues to be this endless cycle, basically.
yeah.
Sometimes you don't have control, and you do mess up.
Yeah.
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 And I mean, but it allows for that.
Right.
You're allowed to do
Yeah.
that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hated doing it because then you feel like you're like, oh, even just one day you're like, oh, I'm so behind
It
now.
puts you
And then the
down.
next day you're
Yep.
like, oh, I guess I did it yesterday. I might
Yeah,
as well do
right.
it today.
Yeah.
That's
It
how
won't
it
hurt.
starts.
Because it messes with you. Because you, for 1 week, you're killing it, killing
Oh,
the
yeah.
weights in the gym, killing your diet, and then all of a sudden the next week you're like, oh shit, I'm missing workouts. I'm eating the wrong foods. It's like a
Yeah.
mentality switch. You have to get yourself back on that track.
That's a hurdle. That's
Right.
that's probably the hardest part
Right.
about being on a cut.
So Dawson, what are some hurdles you have come across in your training? Let's go from there first.
I'd say realizing that I can't go in and do the same thing. Like I can't follow the same plan every chest day, every leg day, I can't do the same thing.
And that's a hurdle for you.
A wall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was a wall.
Oh wow.
'Cause I realized, like,
okay.
Because I realized,
That's interesting because so many
Yeah.
people will do the same workout. We know
Every-
people where we can just.
Dave goes in. He's been doing
Yeah,
the same thing for the
But
past
he's made
19
great
years.
progress. Great progress, and he does. We can
Mhm.
call his workout exactly what he'll do for the day, just because we've seen that over
Yeah.
and over and over again.
Because when I went in and I started doing, let's just say chest day.
Uh
When I was at a 205 bench. Oh god, what's good? When I was at 205 bench.
huh.
I did the same thing every chest day. So I'd bench, and then I'd go do incline dumbbell, and then I'd go do flat dumbbell right after the incline dumbbell, and then I'd go do chest flies. Not that I was doing them right at the time, but I just do that, and then I'd be done. I'd just leave, and then I realized like, okay, I can't do that.
You learned variety from me, I think.
Yeah, I did. That's when I really learned like.
Because I have 500 exercises for
Yeah,
muscle group.
Yeah.
That's when I
I can whip out different things.
That's when I was like, okay, I'm not making any progress. I need to switch my days up. Not my days up, but I need to switch what I do. So now Monday's chest day I'll flat bench, and then I'll go to incline bench. I'll make that a compound day. And then Friday I'll go do accessory lifts.
You still hit a max lift on Friday. You top your
I still bench on Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say you still top
my
out.
bench isn't gonna go up if I don't bench.
Yeah.
So I bench
That's
bench
good.
Monday and Friday
That's good.
when my body tells me
Mhm.
I'm allowed to. If my body is like, okay, I don't think you should do that, I go to incline. I
Okay.
just do an incline bench. But so Monday will be more like a compound day, and I'll just do compound lifts, and then I'll go to arms or a few accessories. And then Fridays I'll bench, and then I'll do all dumbbell work, and then all accessories.
And you're like me nowadays. You do a different workout each week.
Every time
Accessories are all different.
Every leg day is different.
Yep.
Tuesday and Saturday's leg day are different.
And it
Monday and
motivates
Friday
you,
is
doesn't it?
different.
It motivates you because you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I have chest and arms tonight. I don't know what my top lift is going to be yet. I'm going to see what's there, and maybe I'll do floor press, or I don't know. And it's just an exciting feeling, other than thinking, oh, I got bench tonight.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the fun part about training with you.
Yep. You never knew what was going to come.
Yeah.
You get off work and be like, oh, great, we're going to do 500 sets of side laterals tonight.
Yes. Or 125 reps.
Yeah, 120 in one set.
Yeah. Who would do that?
Right, exactly.
I don't really know why that was a problem for me. Going in and just doing the same thing every day was just it made me be in a plateau.
People get bored.
I did. I got bored, and I was like, I think the only reason I was in a plateau is because I didn't want to try anymore. Because I was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then I started lifting with you for those 6 months, and I was like, okay. So now, every day is different.
Yeah.
Today's chest day, I was like, okay, I didn't do flat dumbbell Monday, so I'm gonna do it today.
Yeah.
I didn't do chest flies with the cables on Monday, so I'm gonna do it today.
Or you can be like, here's a machine. Let's do this machine today.
Yeah, I didn't do this
Yeah.
Monday. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I make it up as while I'm in there.
Same here.
I compare it to
Same here.
Monday's chest day, and I'm like, okay, what did I do and what did I not do?
I have a system. I hit 5 exercises for each muscle group. That's what my goal.
I don't keep track. I just hit whatever I want.
For back day, I'll hit 5 back exercises and 2 trap ones. That's usually my back day. For chest day, I'll hit 5 chest exercises and some pullovers and some arms. I have a system, so I know I'm not in there forever. Because too much is diminishing returns. You don't want to do too much. Like Chip, I haven't brought this to Chip yet, but sometimes Chip does too much.
Yes.
Oh, he does a lot.
I like his drive, but he's going to kill his progress in the long term by just burning himself out. The other day, we were training shoulders, and I noticed I was already done my workout, and he already trained shoulders, but he already had trained arms by the time I was done, and by the time I was leaving, he was doing more tricep extensions.
Yeah.
It was like beginners can train less than intermediate people, and I think he saw how we are training, how I train, And the fact is, I've been doing this 16 years. I have to change. I have to do stuff that's going to challenge myself. So sometimes I will throw in crazy drop sets or something stupid like that. Chip doesn't need to do that to make progress.
No.
He can lift 5 straight sets and make great progress. And that's what I want to make sure people understand is the longer you lift, the more things you have to mix up, the more things you have to change and make things more intense. But when beginners, 1 to 5 years, you can get away with, picking 5 exercises, 4 to 5 sets, and you'd be good for the day. It's not as hard as people think. It's a lot easier than people think.
Yeah, because before I started lifting with you, I don't think I might have done a handful of drop sets.
Yeah.
And basically, I think it was...
I utilize drop sets and mechanical drop sets and rest pauses, and I used all that. And Zach's like, what are these? Like, what
I remember the first day you were explaining rest pauses to Zach and stuff. He's like, oh, how do I do
he still to this day, I'm like, we're going to drop set this. He's like, okay. And then I see him supersetting 2 exercises together. And I'm like, Zach, what are you doing? He's like, we're doing drop set. I'm like, no, that's a superset, guy. We're doing a drop set. Just drop the weight like 3 times. Go to fail every time. Just keep dropping it.
Yeah. Keeps training fun, though.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, but it's just funny because we've been doing it for so long, and this guy's still confused on what we're doing.
That's just Zach, though.
It's just Zach.
Now, being more of an ectomorph, I'm sure you have dieting hurdles trying to put on weight, Because you've tried...
because I lost the 2 pounds. I mean...
Right. Now, do you have any tips to break diet hurdles of trying to gain weight for those listeners that are trying to gain weight? Because you're the opposite, Caleb.
Yeah.
So, okay, can you ask that again?
So you are more of an ectomorph, meaning a hard gainer type of person.
I gotta eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to know if you have any tips when you hit struggling or hurdle points where you find
struggling to eat.
That, and also struggling to put on more weight or put on more mass. Like, how do you diet-wise go around that? Because a lot of people think they're eating a lot of food and they're eating like 1,200 calories.
Track it.
Because
I noticed that I could eat as much as I want. I'm like, oh yeah, that's got to be a good amount.
Yeah. And
I realized I'm like, okay, I've been maintaining this whole time, like what's going on. So then I actually started, like I got my calorie count and it came up to like 3,200, but I upped it a lot. I'm eating like 3,900 a day.
Wow, almost 4,000. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And then that's on the days that I track it. Like obviously, I try to track it every day, but like when I eat Mexican and stuff, I can't track it.
Yeah.
But I know that I eat like the past 5 times I go to Mexican, it's to the point where if I take another bite, I'm gonna puke. Yeah. Like I cannot eat anymore.
You've had to force feed a lot.
I still force feed every day. You still do. Every day.
I have a couple clients that do that too. I don't know how they do it. I never was a fan of that.
Like I realized I realized that if I don't force feed myself,
you're just not gonna hit those calories.
I'm gonna lose weight. Like I lost that 2 pounds. And which was super surprising because I was like at those 2 weeks, that week I didn't track my calories, and I lost 2 pounds. So I was like, that made me realize how important tracking my calories is.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I got to track these calories for the bulk, otherwise I'm not going to gain weight. And like I noticed that once I started tracking calories, I was actually able to I was putting on mass and I was doing all that.
Other than going out to eat for Mexican.
Other than going out to eat for Mexican. But like every time I go out to eat Mexican, I only had 500 calories left in my fitness pal.
Yeah.
Because by lunchtime, I'm already at 3,000 calories.
Yeah, by the time you get to the gym, you're already at 3,000.
Like that's why that's why I'm like, I'm so surprised that this bulk is going so well for me because I'm just eating. Like I have to be eating over. I have to be almost 4,500 to 5,000 calories.
Well, you wash windows too for the day. That's an active job.
That's
an active job. So I mean that makes a big difference.
I noticed that what was I gonna say? I noticed that people were like, oh, it can't be that hard to get calories in. But I noticed that once I was actually trying to get calories, I was like,
well, those are the
it's
same
a lot harder than what you actually think it is.
Those are the same people telling you you're on steroids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The ones that
go from bulking and cutting every 2 weeks.
Right. And the ones that are obsessed with being lean, the ones that can't get 4,000 calories, and they're the ones saying, oh, Dawson's on steroids. They don't understand how much of a challenge eating 4,000 calories is. It's hard. I've done it a few times in my life and never again. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
All they see me do is train. They see me get a lot bigger and get a lot stronger, but they didn't see what I did outside of the gym.
Exactly.
The gym is the easy part.
Yeah.
Eating is the hard part. Eating is the part that is so challenging.
I agree.
And I didn't notice that until October when I started the bulk. Yeah.
And that's
the first 2 weeks were so hard until I trained my stomach to expand.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I can't. After 3 meals, I'm full. I can't eat. And now
plowing
it's
down.
10:30 at night. I'm like, I'm hungry. Where's
That's
the food?
good though. You've raised your metabolism. Your metabolic rate
like,
is higher than it was before. That's good.
Yesterday we went to Mexican, of course, and the day before that.
Why don't you just move into a Mexican place?
Yeah.
Because
no, give a shout out right now to the Mexican place that you eat at because it's obviously it's good food.
It's good food, but it's not authentic. I mean, it is authentic, but it's not as authentic.
Is
as
it El
I've had.
Mariachi?
No,
Oh.
screw my El Mariachis.
Okay.
Grand Plaza.
Okay, you're going pricier. Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
I spent $26,
Okay.
and that gets me to the point where I feel like I'm gonna barf.
That's not bad.
But that also includes
Ooh, that's a lot of money for how many times a week?
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
That's why I'm saying I'm broke. Like I'm broke right now. But there's this place in Defiance.
I still gotta go there.
La Holly
Yeah.
Sands. We
Yeah.
still have to go there, dude. It's so
Next week.
I guess we could.
most authentic Mexican food I've ever had. Like, you know it's authentic
Yeah.
when you walk in, the only people that know how to speak English are the waiters.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No one else knows
Yeah.
how to speak English.
You know it's gonna be a good meal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, best thing I've ever had.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went yesterday and I ate a whole bowl of guac
Mhm.
by myself.
That's a lot of fat
But
calories. So a lot of high calories.
Mhm.
Good.
A whole bowl of guac, an extra side of rice, some beans, and then a quesadilla with chicken, and then I added steak.
Nice.
And then it's got tomatoes, lettuce, onions, and then they snuck. I didn't ask for them, but they snuck like the grilled peppers and grilled onions in there.
Okay.
Oh, it was so good. And then 2 servings. Yeah, they got the extra side of rice, and then that comes with a serving of rice, and then yeah. So I just
So what's a food that you use when you need to get your calories higher? For me, it was white rice.
peanut butter.
Okay.
I eat
peanut
it off
butter.
the spoon.
I
at home.
used to before I became allergic to it. I ate it so much in my younger days, I became allergic to it. I built up an allergy to it. I've talked about that on my podcast, how if you eat a food a lot, you can build up an allergy to it. That's why it's good to vary
Bro,
the
if I
types
ever
of
build
food.
up an allergy to Mexican food, I'm gonna cry.
You start breaking out in highs when we go out to eat.
Milk.
No, that's good.
When I need calories, I'm like,
I do
okay,
too.
I don't really want to eat.
I love milk.
I'm just gonna drink some milk.
Yeah, I love milk.
I remember
love
when
it.
I went on a phase, I drank like,
Yeah,
oh gosh, I was drinking 2 gallons of chocolate milk a week.
yeah. It's easy calories.
It's not that much.
And it's healthy
Two
too.
gallons.
Tons of vitamins. Tons
Yeah,
of good
it's like-
vitamin D.
It's like 8 grams of protein a
Yeah.
serving, and that's only in a
Yep.
cup.
It's a good magnesium source too, which is a nutrient a lot of people are low on naturally.
It's like
So
there's a lot of things that I
Oh, yeah.
use to get my extra calories.
Yep.
Milk. I got peanut butter. Even just a simple granola bar sometimes.
for me, whole eggs, milk, and rice, white rice.
Well, see, I don't have
those
like,
3 things.
when I don't really like feel like cooking at night.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, whatever. So I'm
Right.
just like, yeah, milk, peanut butter.
Right. Well, eggs are super simple. You just heat
A
up
can of
pan,
chicken.
heat up a pan, crack some eggs in there, and then do other stuff while they cook. I mean,
Yeah.
eggs were super simple.
I'd say the main thing is a can of chicken.
Yeah, you definitely
'Cause that's
use
when
the
I-
chicken
yeah.
a lot.
I probably eat like, I don't know, I'd say about two to 3 cans a day.
Yeah.
And that's at night. So it's like $7 for 4 cans.
That's not bad.
It's like, by the end of the week, it's probably like a good, I don't know, $30-$40 on chicken.
Yeah. Wasn't like that when Trump was in office.
No, it'd be like, I mean,
Good old Biden.
I drink,
Let's go, Brandon.
I drink my zero sugar thing, my zero sugar sodas.
Yeah.
For a 12-pack, it's like $5. It
Yeah.
used to be like $2.68.
I know. The inflation's crazy.
But yeah.
So that's your struggles then, those hurdles. Any more hurdles or anything that you come across in your training? Other than just hitting like plateaus on weights?
Trying to max every time you lift.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to always like
Think you
every
always have
bench
to-
day.
That's why I tell people conservative for the day. You know,
Yeah.
hit something where you're happy with it for the day. It gets your mindset
But-
ready for the day,
so, like-
but it's not going to be overtaxing.
I do that
Okay.
sometimes.
Okay.
But even sometimes, like I used to do that all the time. I do that for squat every leg day. I do that.
Yeah.
Work up something
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Not
all out.
not to
Not
the point
all
where it's a
100%.
9 out of 10 exertion level.
Yep, RPE.
Yeah, but like 7.
Yeah.
7 or 8 maybe.
Okay.
Enough where I can still add weight.
Yeah.
But then lately I've been not building up. Like on bench,
Oh, wow.
I'll build up 225 and I'll start my sets right there. So I'll do a 5x5 with 225.
That's
So
interesting.
I still have energy to do that.
Right.
That
I'm-
5x5.
I'm curious to see if your strength is going to increase doing that.
It
or
did. I
decrease.
noticed.
Well, you won't notice it much. I mean, you just started it.
I started a couple weeks ago.
Okay, I'd give it 3 weeks.
Yeah,
It takes
so,
about
like-
3 weeks to adapt to something.
So like Monday I'll go and I'll do a 5x5 on bench,
Yeah.
and then Still heavy 5x5,
Yeah.
like something I'm struggling to get 5 on the last 2 reps.
Right.
Not last 2 sets, I meant. And then Friday, it would be like last week I did 245 for sets of 3, 4 sets of 3.
Nice.
So
for me, I always like to work up to a top set, just because it gets your mindset ready for the day. Once you do a top set, you're woke up.
It really makes you feel better about yourself too.
It does. It wakes you up. It puts you in the mood to train then. Because once you hit your top set, you're like, okay, now it's time to get to the working sets, the sets and reps. I've always found it hard to just go in the gym and say, okay, I'm going to do 5 sets of 5 without working up first.
Yeah.
Because you get to your working weight and you're like, oh, this feels off. When you work up to something heavy, your working weight feels light.
That is a lie. Sometimes. I worked up 275 today.
All right.
I dropped down to 225 and I was like, okay, I'm going to try a 5x5. I got 2 sets of 5 and I was like, this is...
Well, also a PR.
Right, exactly.
He does
you
conservative top sets. He's not going all out maxing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I messed up when I went 245. I should have stopped and started because I wasted too much energy and I couldn't do my 3x3.
Yeah.
That's why that's why sometimes I like going into the gym. Like the past 2 weeks, I like going in and I don't build up. And I just start my sets because then I found that I have more energy for accessories.
Right.
Like I built up and I did the 5x5s on bench.
Yep.
With 225. And then I got 100s for 4 that day on flat dumbbell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, usually I don't have that much energy when I do flat dumbbell.
Yeah.
But I kind of saved.
That was Monday, right? Fountain City you trained. Or no, wait, never mind. I thought you hit the 100s at Fountain City.
I did for 2.
You did.
They felt heavier than.
Well, those 100s are. Which ones did you use?
The ones
rubber. The rubber.
Those are huge.
The metal ones are a little better.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about what happened.
No, please.
So bad. Those like I picked those up and I did 2 with those, and I was like, 2? That's weird. I usually get like 4 or 5 with these. And they were just a lot heavier.
Caleb got thrown off too this last week.
Oh,
yeah. Caleb showed me that it's just metal underneath.
Yeah.
They're too big.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna take a small break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about your training split now and your nutrition now. Hey guys, I know you were probably wanting to listen to the rest of this today. Maybe not, but I just thought I'd split this podcast into 2 parts. And so next week you will be able to hear the second part of this, which is, I believe, another hour and 50 minutes. So basically I'm just splitting this podcast in half just to make sure it's not too overwhelming for the listeners. But there's still a lot of good stuff coming in this podcast. We cover a lot of things in the second half of this. You guys will definitely enjoy this. And we'll see you next week. Stay strong and God bless.